Hello, Musty Hobbit here, and it is a Tuesday, is another Tuesday hangout for the Cartridge Club. I will be getting some people in here momentarily, but kind of a slow news week. Had a really busy weekend where we went and saw Billy Elliot, the play, in Cedar Rapids. The local theater had put that on, so that was really good. I was really impressed. I had no idea what it was going into it, and I kind of kept it that way. Yes, it was good to go in blind. It's kind of my intention. So what else has been happening? It's been really busy. We had a tornado warning earlier on this tiny little cell that went through, and so we were hiding out down here. Thankfully, nothing came of that. But other than that, it's just busy. I called it Palindrome Week because as of yesterday, the next number of days for a while are all palindromes, because we had 7, 10, 20, 17, and now we have 7, 11, 17. Who's this? Who's that? Travis, what's up, man?
Up? Can you hear me okay? Is it echoey and stuff? I know that's an issue.
No, it's good. I get more people who echo hearing themselves through mine because I have my mic is creeping up there.
Sounds good. You look good. Everything sounds good. I'm excited.
Hey. Yeah, you joining in for the night?
For a while.
Cool.
Yeah.
We like having new people join in. I think sometimes I fit in that. Sometimes we have the same crew all the time, and I wonder if people find those. It's nice to have new faces.
Oh, yes, I agree.
Scott, how's it going?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Doing all right.
Good to hear.
Business. We lucked out, but no, things are good. Things are good. Got more stuff.
Scott, you need to put something on the green screen, man. You got to have some space.
I know, right? It's. I'm hoping that by the next week, I'll be doing this in my game library room. It's just I'm doing this on my desktop instead of my laptop. My laptop's all crapped out, so I think I just bought a new laptop today on Amazon Prime Day, so hopefully that'll rectify things for next week.
Or you could just take pictures of your game library and put it on the green screen.
That's true. That'd be a lot more comfortable. The game library gets a little tight.
Sounds like a good problem to have.
Yeah, it's not awful. I have those exact same bar stools at my bar, Travis.
You have a bar too?
I do.
I can't have anything over on you, man.
Yours is much more well stocked, though.
Yeah, probably. That's still cool. Nice. Yeah, it's a Craigslist special.
Nice.
Mr. Fitnet, we gave you a shout out on the recent Polykill.
The main episode or the off kilter?
The main.
Oh yeah, with the Horizon Zero Dawn.
That's right. That's good stuff. Poly proper, as we call that episode. Off kilter being the redheaded stepchild of our.
Yeah. I like the off kilters. I haven't listened to the new one yet, but I really like those.
Cool. That makes one of us. One of you.
What are you playing, Trev?
Donkey Kong Country 2. Kind of a bitch.
I might as well play something too. Guess what?
Oh no.
Yeah.
What's your high score? Has your high score improved at all since last week?
Maybe wait for a few more people to get in because I have a photo on my computer to show later.
Spoiler alert.
I upped it last night, but I figured I'd save it for the Hangout and then tweet it out after. So a bit of a tease there.
We're going to have a homework assignment at the end of this Hangout, just so you know.
Okay.
For next week.
That should be interesting.
Yeah, it will be. Well, next week is a very special day that has been talked about a bunch, but it's actually happening.
It will be Jake's birthday. I know that's not what we're talking about, but I'm just throwing that out there.
Does Jake know Rick V also?
No. I don't even think Jake listens to collect calls, so no, he has no idea.
Yeah, so okay, well, I'll do it now. Next week is Rick V Day, so I think we should talk about the Master System a bunch next week.
Nice.
Okay.
I like the Master System. I can tell you what mods you can do to a Master System. Including one where you take a PAL Sega Master System 2 and you turn it into an NTSC Sega Master System 2. You know, because then you can have Sonic the Hedgehog as your pack-in game. And Sonic the Hedgehog on Master System is better than Sonic the Hedgehog on Genesis. And I probably just pissed someone off with that.
I don't think you're the first person to say it, but anyway, continue, Musty.
Yeah, so don't spoil all your Master System talk for next week. The Q Dogs are watching.
Oh, wait then.
Yes, save it for next week.
Oh, wait, and I'll give you the download on the what Sega Master System mods you can do that I feel are worth doing.
You should.
Okay.
We got
Looks like
an
P1.
oscillating fan there.
Yeah, in Sean's door.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
I'm downloading a thing.
What are you downloading?
Can you see that?
yep.
Something to do with Middle Earth. I couldn't read it.
The boring Shadow of Middle of Earth game.
Yeah. I need to get back into that.
No, you don't.
I
need
should
to
probably
start it
finish
now.
the game. I should probably finish the Uncharted that I started before I go.
You wait, so some cool modern game I'll probably never get around to.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yep.
Exactly that one.
Sounds about right.
I figured for $6. I mean,
Yeah.
even if I never play it,
I had a lot.
Yeah.
I would think that I should have all of my games on my Xbox Digital. Because I sat down today and nobody was on for Overwatch. So I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to keep playing Overwatch because I don't want to change the disc. But if everything was digital, then I wouldn't have to worry about that.
Well, you should just keep getting the games with gold games, and you'll build up a library fairly fast.
Yeah, they suck. Is my
Right
problem.
now, yes.
Come on,
Very much
people
so
are
right now.
saying that Lego Pirates is actually decent.
Lego Pirates is the only game I'm actually looking forward to getting off of that.
Oh, grow up.
I'm not even kidding. Wait, what are the other games of the month on that?
I think it's Goat Simulator and
What? Not Code Simulator.
Watch-
Stop.
Watch Dogs.
Wait, the greatest of all time simulator? Or is it that game where you sit
It's
there
Muhammad
and
Ali. It's a
watch
boxing
dudes?
game.
Do I need to have headphones on? I just realized I'm running through my speakers as it causing feedback.
Yeah, I don't. You're not getting feedback, but you're very quiet.
Oh.
That's fine.
Whatever you want to do.
I got some cool stuff this week to show you guys later. And by cool stuff, I mean 2 Super Nintendo games.
Okay.
Oh, game. They suck, Yoshi. When are you going to start playing new games like everybody else?
Dude, I doubt I'll ever start playing those new games again. You kids and your fandangled new games. I'll stick with my old games.
Or fandangoed old games.
Simples.
They're grim.
Hey, P1, is your microphone in a different room?
And require you to walk back and forth grinding for hours on end.
It's on my iPad, which is across the table from me. I'll put on my headset. Bastards.
So we got Travis joining the Hangouts for a change?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait until he finds out that the this thing is 36 gigabytes. Are you fist fucking me?
Nope.
Oh, can we say that on Hangout?
I don't think we're PG.
You
to begin
can.
with, so don't worry about it.
You can, I won't.
Travis finds out that the first video in the Sega Top 50 has been submitted for approval.
Really?
Oh yeah, I need to approve that.
Nice.
I had to go program my neighbor's TV. It took forever.
I won't even program my mother's television. There's no way I'd be doing my neighbor's.
Was it just adding Wi-Fi to it, or what?
It was like, so her son had the TV and he brought it back from. He got drafted by the Indians. So the kid that we were going to see baseball games with got drafted by the Indians. So he moved out to Ohio, and he brought the TV back and lost the remote. So she had to go get a universal remote to reprogram the thing because she's not running a cable box through it. She has cable, but she's running the cord right into the TV. So we had to go through the whole channel search thing, which I sat and waited for the entire thing to happen because I was afraid of leaving and then having to like go back over there. Fine. These are nice neighborly things for me to do, right?
Next time, turn the lights off, close the drapes. No one's home.
Those Midwestern boys are nice.
She texted my wife. I really didn't have a choice.
My father taught himself to program an Android box to have Kodi and add Exodus, and he's 60. This woman could fucking Google how to set up her television.
She had... Okay.
Her remote.
You're in luck. She's not one of our viewers. So
Not anymore.
She couldn't figure out how to fucking set up her remote. Musty, there's no way she figured out how to watch a Google Hangout live.
I just lost a sub, man.
You're telling me this woman can't program a remote? I knew from that statement she wasn't a viewer.
Have you noticed, P1, have you noticed with Exodus that it's kind of gotten, for television, it's kind of gotten bad?
What do you mean?
Where it's like, there's a lot of them are getting like locked behind like servers and everything, where it's like, it asks you to join a certain...
Oh. We only watch like maybe 3 hours of television a week. And none of the shows that we watch lock that out.
Okay, because I've been
my father did indicate, because I guess Cody's been getting the U.S. television sites or like actual companies have been going after Cody because not the U.S., the European, because they're losing a bunch of viewers because of their soccer coverage. So Cody's been shutting down some of the feeds that they have, which has been causing problems. My friend of mine switched over to Showbox, which is supposed to be just as good. I haven't loaded it yet to the Apple TV to see if it's any good, but that's what he uses. Movies
have been great still on Exodus, but I've been doing there's all those other options, at least with the more recent Kodi. That there's like other ones where you can just search TV A to Z. There's like all those ones besides Exodus, and I've been finding that much easier to go through that way as opposed to going through Exodus for television.
Maybe I'll check that out.
Yeah, because that's how I've been falling behind on Preacher, and I forgot the DVR 'em, so and that's how I've been watching it the last couple times.
Well, you're in luck because an episode did air this week, but it wouldn't appear on my PlayStation where I bought the season, so that's irritating.
You should steal everything like Ryan and I do.
Oh, stealing! We're just streaming it, man. It's a gray line.
We're just streaming.
Free through the power.
Yeah. I would say it's more of a bright orange jumpsuit line.
Well, it's they say it's not illegal because you're streaming it. You're not keeping it, so that's why it's not illegal.
You're just viewing the material.
Yep. As long as
If I take somebody's car and drive it to the mall and then get the bus home, I've still stolen that car.
Would this be a bad time to tell you that I'm an attorney for the pay TV industry?
Not for Sean. He lives in Canada. And by the way, I was just talking from what I heard. That's what I've done, basically. My neighbor, he was showing me with his comedy, so we were watching it. So it's not really me, it's him.
Musty came over and set mine up for me.
Took forever.
Hey, Jason.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much.
I do believe, is this my first time on here since, like, the baby's been born? Like, you saw him when he was born. Have I been here?
Yeah.
I think you were here a couple weeks ago.
A little bit, yeah. Not
last
for a
week,
long
you did
period
on
of time,
Wednesday.
I don't think. No, actually, yeah, you were on once.
Okay. I couldn't remember if it's been like a month or if it's been a couple weeks.
Couple weeks.
What are you playing, Travis?
Donkey Kong Country 2?
Going for a poly kill?
Trying to, but dudes, such an ass kicker.
Especially one of the last levels is like the heart. I don't know if you're on it. One of like the swamp or it's a sewer level. You have to go up.
Yeah, with the snake.
Oh, you have to do 3 different animals
Right now.
You have to do that's the hardest level. That's the hardest level in the whole game. You have to do the parrot. You have to do the spider, and you have to do the snake.
I 101% completed that game.
Good job,
Animal Antics, right?
It's the sewer level where you have to go up.
Completed the game. So I like
Yoshi. Would you care to Yoshi? Would you care to chime in with your opinions when people are actually done talking? That would be good.
Ooh, sick burn.
Yeah. Sorry, it just bothers me. Moving on.
No, but anyways, that level is a pain in the rear. That's the hardest level in the whole game. Harder than the final boss too.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. It's really long too, so it ain't short, you know.
I can't even get to the checkpoint. I've been bouncing around on the snake in green water for hours. Toxic Tower is the name of it.
Yeah. It's easier, I guess, when maybe you get to the parrot, and I think you have to finish with the spider. I'm not 100%. I beat it over a year ago for the first time.
You should try without that giant glass of gin you just took a swig out of.
That helps. That's game juice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gin.
It looked like straight gin.
Ryan, what are you drinking?
Spotted cow.
Yeah. I've got Otter Creek Orange Cream Ale.
That sounds delicious. I love Orange Creek.
Not so much.
I win.
Yeah. Straight alcohol.
I double dog dare you to take a swig of that.
No, absolutely not.
Chugging Everclear.
May cause temporary blindness. It's good for you.
We'll do a science experiment here. Musty, do you go blind here? It's only temporary, you know.
Yep. It could either give you superpowers, or you could be blind for the next 2 weeks. It's one or the other.
Will produce serious gastric disturbances if taken into
we got some nice rips on the air here.
Made it to the checkpoint, Rocket.
All right. Just switch characters yet?
Bird. We're doing it.
I think you only got one more level after that too.
Oh boy, I have no lives either, so we'll be seeing this again.
Okay. We get this live in-game reaction here today.
Oh, and I died.
So is it going to be a polykill if you knock this one out? Have you already finished another one, or is that a spoiler?
We'll call it a spoiler. But if you follow me on Twitter, then it's not really.
I'll still listen to the show.
I hope so. It's going to be a good one. I'm not just saying that because it's my show. It's special plans.
I won't. I only listen for the polykills, and if I know that it's already happened, I have no reason to listen.
Fair enough.
Is anybody else playing Horizon?
Nope. Waiting for that Game of the Year edition to come out.
I finished it.
I should be playing it, but I'm not.
It's
I have
so
it, though.
good.
Yeah. I loved it.
I did not expect to like it as much as I do because I'm not a big fan of third-person shooters, and it's really good. The only thing that I don't like about it is the limit. After playing Zelda, is the limited vertical scalability of the game.
Yeah, but on the upside, infinite arrows, essentially.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ammo and infinite sprinting, like infinite
Yeah.
stamina, is like a godsend.
Arrows on the fly. I stopped playing Horizon because I knew I would be bothered by not having that ability in Zelda.
Yeah. But that's the only thing from Zelda that carries over to Horizon that kills me is I can't climb wherever I want. I just want to go exploring, and it's like you got to find those handholds, and some of them are really difficult to find. But other than that, man, the game is beautiful, and it controls so perfectly well.
Yeah. It's gorgeous in HDR.
I can imagine. I'm playing it on an older 1080p television and a basic PS4, and it's still just like, wow. Like the people look fantastic. It's one of the first games I can say that the actual people look like people.
Yeah.
That was the first game I played after I set up my HDR TV after I bought it, and I just sat there and looked at the title screen for like 10 minutes.
We've come a long way, and like hair looks like hair now. Finally.
Let's say I've never been really a big fan of Guerrilla Games, but I'm glad this one's doing well. The Killzone series has never been like very impressive on me, and that's the only thing I really know them for. I don't think they've really made anything else, have they?
I think they've done very little else other than that, or only that.
To me, honestly, it does feel very similar to a Fallout 3 experience, Fallout 4 experience, but more polished, in my opinion. It's not as well. You know what? You're kind of limited in what you can explore in the Fallout series too. They kind of only open certain corridors to you, but it feels like a polished Fallout 4 in third person.
Yeah, Fallout 4 is something I need to play as well that I haven't.
That's a time sucker. Like that's a big time drain.
Yeah,
it's great. Don't get me wrong. I love Fallout 4, but it is such a drain on time.
So it was free a couple weekends ago, and I downloaded it. I went in and I was messing with the character creation because I don't know, I was trying to make something close, and so you can switch between the husband and the wife, and so I made the husband, and then I switched to the wife, and then I wanted to switch back to the husband to start the game, but I accidentally started the game as the wife, and then I was just like, well, this means I'm gonna have to like I didn't want to go anywhere into it.
Let me take a shower.
What?
Oh, you know.
So I didn't know if there was a way to reverse that, or before it's too late. I have a feeling it probably isn't.
I think if you go back,
it didn't like even give me.
I think if you go back and look at the mirror, you can.
Get diagnosed by a therapist. Then once they confirm that you should make the switch, then you'll start with hormone therapy. You'll be on that for a couple of years.
And then they'll chop your balls off.
Just go on your PS4 and erase the
Push your-
save data file and start over.
Push your wiener inside out.
I would love to erase the save data file on my PS4.
Oh, yeah, no. Never mind. You're playing on what, Xbox One?
I was. It was a free weekend though, so
Hmm.
I actually didn't get back to trying to do the character creator again. So,
But yeah, if you just erase your save data file, it should just start you right back at the beginning with the new character creation.
Do you guys prefer?
I figured I could have started a game. I just that was like, oh, they didn't even. Oh, okay. I guess I'll just play something else.
Do you guys prefer a pre-made character, or do you guys prefer customization of a character?
Pre-made.
Personally, pre-made for myself. I hate having to spend hours looking and trying to, and I'm always never satisfied with the person I created.
Yeah.
It
I think it depends
depends on the game for me.
Yep.
S-
I'm agreeing.
if it's a BioWare game, please give me the pre-generated one, because I don't have 6.5 days to spend adjusting the thickness of my chin. It's thick. Okay, just make it thick. But for games like Splatoon, where it's just sort of like 5 different head choices, 5 different hair, or 3 different hair choices, a couple of different pants choices, and a skin color. I like that customization because I like to mix and match those up and adjust them, change them every now and then. I like to try out the different hairstyles. So simple games like that, quick games like that, I like to be the ability to be able to change them. But for an RPG, something I'm going to put 30 plus hours in, I would rather them just give me the characters. I prefer them to just I prefer linear to open world anyway, and I find if they just give you the character, it's easier. I'd rather fall in with their story as opposed to try and write my own story. But that's just me.
I'm exactly the same.
Yep.
To a T. Making a character in Skyrim or Oblivion, it's nice that they give you the option, but I just want to play.
I'm the exact opposite. I'd rather create a character in something I'm going to put a bunch of time into, and the one like Splatoon, I'd rather just pop it and go.
The one problem is that a lot of those games, you take all that time crafting what your face looks like, and then you throw a helmet on it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's very true.
Like the Souls games, and I guess you don't have to.
Yeah.
Well,
A
they're
lot of them have the option to toggle the helmet view on and off.
Yeah.
But even Mass Effect has the don't wear a helmet in cutscenes, even when it would make total sense for you to have a helmet on.
Plus, a lot of those kind of games, you're usually first person anyway. Like Skyrim, Oblivion, and a lot of stuff like that. You're already in first person, so you're not even get to see your guy most of the time anyway.
That's
Yeah, but
Is that a
you
chicken
can't
finger
play
you're about
first
to eat?
Looks like it.
Oatmeal raisin cookie.
Boring.
like it.
Close enough.
Oh fuck! That's just as good. Now I want a raisin cookie. Didn't matter what you were putting in your mouth. I wanted one.
There you go, Derek.
How Derek could possibly misconstrue anything that I say.
Next time on Retro Fandango.
And P1, you prefer to play as girls in the games as opposed to guys?
In most games, yeah, I will choose a female character over a male. That came from Warcraft. So we started with EverQuest, and my brother and I and our friend Joe, we all played dwarves, and that was fun. But when World of Warcraft rolled around, we had started playing it, and right from the beginning, we were like, this game is different. We're going to put a lot of time into this, and if I'm going to play a game for 80 hours, or in the case of Warcraft, 300 days, then I'm going to want to look at something that I find visually appealing. And I generally find women to be visually appealing, or more so. And I find something like the armor sets look different. Because there's a lot of modern games now, and the dudes are all built like John Cena 8 John Cena. Because they're all like ridiculously jacked, and like the Gears of War, like their hands and their wrists are. It's like they're on some different planet, or they're like
Their forearms are the size of like thighs.
It's like
exactly.
Dr.
Yeah.
Russell.
You know, it's like I can't. And I don't think it. I don't know. It's just every time I look at it, all I think is you just really want to be Warhammer 40K, but you're not. It's a cool chainsaw though. So I don't know. I prefer most of the time I prefer the female appearances on the characters, and the voice. Like for Mass Effect, the voice acting was just plain better. Jennifer Hale crushed it, and she looked better. Like if you look at the generic Shepard from Mass Effect, the original Mass Effect trilogy, he looks like he had his head caved in at one point. Like his head is like right concave at a couple of points, and then his face is right elongated. Whereas Fem Shep is actually looks like a person. It looks like the guys that made Andromeda made male Shep, and then the rest of BioWare made Fem Shep.
Sick burn. I was just saying,
and it's I mean, my daughter and Colleen plays games with me, and I like to, also give them representation, so it's not all just BJ Blazkowicz and Dom. Is that his name? Dom?
Yeah.
Dom?
No, Marcus.
Yeah.
Marcus Phoenix.
Marcus Phoenix, right.
Dom is the other
Yelp
character.
Dom.
Right. But yeah, if I'm going to be staring at the screen, if I'm going to watch a character for 40 hours or 50 hours or 60 hours, then I'd rather look at the female form.
Mm.
I think for me, it really comes down to like how the game was marketed. So in case for like the first Mass Effect series, basically, it's marketed with, at least in my opinion, I remember at least with Shepard being on the commercials and he's on the front of the box. So I would prefer to play as a guy for that case. But in something like Splatoon, what you're saying, I don't play as a girl for a custom character, but if there was a character like I could play as Callie, I would rather play the whole game as Callie as opposed to a stupid custom character. So I'm not a fan of custom characters. But like I said, it all depends how the game's marketed, or if there's like a character I can really relate to. Because I think side more to the female characters for games, but if it's not marketed that way, like I don't know, if they give you the choice to play a guy maybe in Horizon Zero Dawn, I would still probably play as the female because you see the commercials marketed that way. It's just I don't know.
Yeah, so it feels more like it's canon, like this is the way it was intended. That makes sense to me. I get it.
Well, like Fallout 4, yeah, the commercials all gravitated toward the male in that.
I just took the generic face because I tried playing with it for a minute and then I said just default face. I was like, this is what they designed with. This is what I'm going with. So
it even goes back to Resident Evil for me. I preferred Jill to Chris, and I preferred Claire to Leon as well.
Yeah. It depends on characterization too. Like if a character just seems more interesting, like you see a little bit of them first. Like I'm thinking of Dragon Quest Heroes on PS4. I went into that, and then you get a choice of characters in that. And I picked the male character for some reason. I don't remember why. I was like, oh, what the hell? I'll just go with this guy. And he started talking. I'm like, oh, I made poor choices. But she's still along with you in the
Oddly
story.
enough,
So it's like, oh, thank God, a character with actual personality is still along with me.
In Fire Emblem, I always, both for Awakening and Fates, I chose a male character.
For Robin?
For
Robin,
my Robin, yep, and Corrin. I don't know why. It was probably because I wanted to have some sweet waifu action. But
well, that's why I reversed it. Where Robin was the female on my end for Awakening, where her and Crom can get it on or something.
You really wanted. All right.
I don't know. I was gonna say, like, I always consider those are my I want those two always to be together, not so much. I rather have female male as opposed to buddy basically. I guess that's the way I was thinking it.
I get it. That makes sense. Yeah. Because he's sort of like Crom's sort of the hero.
Yeah.
So Melissa's asking about fighting games. Who do you guys gravitate toward?
Females always. That's definitely a female one right there.
Yeah, I would say so because they're usually.
Yeah, I go for
play
fighting
characters
games
most of the time, and female characters tend to be in most games more agile and swifter.
Yeah, it depends on how they play.
Yeah.
And which game and the character roster, but yeah. I'd probably mix and match because I like to play multiple characters. So, but actually in Tekken, I tend to gravitate towards God, what's that? Asuka Kazama, because I like her playstyle.
My two mains for Smash Brothers are Lucina and Palutena, and for Killer Instinct, it's Orchid.
That's almost a no-brainer for Killer Instinct, even the old one too.
Yeah, but he was talking about Killer Instinct though.
Yeah, even the original Killer Instinct.
I remember seeing it in the arcades at Disney World. That's the first character I played as because I saw you could turn into like a cheetah. I was like, that's cool. So.
Plus, her combos always felt like they flowed more cleanly than anybody in the game.
Back forward kick.
How about
the one game? The one game that I noticed. Oh, sorry, Musty. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask Soul Calibur 2. On Soul Calibur 2, I was Nightmare.
I played Voldo a lot.
I like Nightmare.
Voldo is a nightmare, though.
Nightmare.
Yeah, that's true.
Killick and Cervantes. Those are my three.
I'm not as familiar with that series now that I think about it, as far as what the characters are in that game. But at least I have like outside series options of like Star Wars characters or Spawn. So
Musty Killick's the one with the staff too, the bow staff, right? Yep. Yeah, I played a lot as him as well. I mean, almost every character you could totally cheese their one move, but especially if you had somebody who just wasn't good at parrying or countering. His overhead smash was like fantastic, and his reach to speed was always very good and balanced.
Yeah.
The one game that I noticed,
nope,
you're good.
Go ahead.
Because I'm changing topic slightly. No, still same.
Oh, okay. Like a lot of those characters had a really nice flow because you'd have like two or three different battle stances, and so you could like flow into you start to telegraph though if you start doing that too much. But I always got a really good flow with Nightmare. That was why I kind of gravitated toward him.
That game actually still has incredible graphics for the Dreamcast. Like it's one of those games that for the time period that it was released, if you go back and look at it now, it still looks like it could have been released 3 years ago. It still looks really good. It's surprising that it looks so good. They just did a really, really good job in programming.
They designed it for VGA support so you can get
it still looks beautiful. But the one game that I noticed character selection that I could probably pinpoint the most for myself for male-female is Diablo 3, where it gives you the option of any character you make to be male or female. And for some reason, I think it must be part of its voice acting and the other's appearance, but I always pick the same sex for each character no matter how many times I remake them. And the Barbarian's always a male, my Witch Doctor's always a male, the Crusader's always a male, and then my Wizard is always a female. My Demon Hunter is always a female, and I can't get out of that. I don't know. They just look, especially probably because the Demon Hunter looks like Bayonetta as a female. But all those characters, they seem with the voice acting and the motion and the way they look when you gear them up, they just always fit into those molds for me.
I think that lines up with what sort of Ryan was saying, how they just, when you look at those characters, when you look at those characters, that's, like you said, the Barbarian makes sense to be a big burly man with the, quiet please, with the hair and everything. Yeah, that makes sense to me that they would be, it wouldn't be just generic one across the board. I think I do most of the same with Diablo as well. 3 specifically.
I'll say surprising though for like Mortal Kombat. I see Melissa put on there as anyone for. I don't play as females in Mortal Kombat. It's just I never liked how they played in Mortal Kombat. I was, I guess, sided more with like Scorpion, Rain, and Sector. If I did out of all the whole series, just none of them ever really played well. I never liked Katana. Never liked Sonya. Casey in the new one's all right though. She's pretty decent. I always played as Chun-Li in Street Fighter 2. So
yeah, it comes down to how they play.
Yeah. Trying to think if there's any other fighting series. Played Primal Rage.
There's tons of them. Samurai Showdown, King of Fighters.
I never played King of Fighters.
Masters of Paris Cassie.
Oh God. No.
Balls.
Well, Virtual Fighter 2, I always play as the drunk guy. I play as, can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Oh, I know exactly who you're
The
talking
old
about.
guy who drinks the
He's
drunken
with the little
minister.
flask, and he kind of.
Yeah.
Yep, I played as him too. I can't remember his name.
I just thought he was
I
really
want
interesting.
to say it
so-
starts with a P. It's like Pie or
It's like a 4-letter name, too, or something like that.
Pang or something like that.
Clay Fighters. Steven mentioned Clay Fighters. I was going to say, the only thing I remember is that Jack-O-Lantern guy. That's the only kind of guy I remember. I think it was Jack-O-Lantern or something. I think that's what his name was.
So what do you pick, male or female, when you play Balls 3D?
I'd never played that game.
Were you asking me a question?
Are you a big fan of Balls 3D as well, Sean? As for fighting games, it's definitely one of the smoothest. And best
I don't
fighting
really.
games out there.
I don't really play fighting games. Smash is pretty much the extent for me. Maybe a little bit of Street Fighter 2. I'm unfamiliar with your 3D. Was it 3D balls you're talking about there? Balls 3D?
Yeah, Balls 3D. It was like Genesis, Super Nintendo era. Travis giggling over there.
No, I can't say I've ever seen that. Certainly haven't played it.
Yoshi, what do you got over there?
You needed his
You're on mute.
microphone. There you go.
Let's see. A history Super Nintendo game.
What is
Ball
it?
40.
Yeah, that's right. The prototype.
No, it's not a prototype.
Which Madden is
It
it?
didn't come out in the U.S.
Oh, is it a repro?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I mean, it could be 500 different things in that case then.
Star Fox 2.
That's
You
funny.
said, you
Not
say
fun.
it did come out in the U.S. or didn't?
It didn't.
Seiken Densetsu 3.
No, it's a shooter.
Shockman BS.
This
never mind.
came from
Terra
a.
Enigma.
No, I had a Super Mario World card here that didn't save, and I swapped just about everything on the board, and it still wouldn't save. So I took the ROM out of that cart and put it into a Mario Paint, and took the Super Mario World cart and turned it into Super Celeste.
Nice.
You heard of Musha?
Yeah. That's exactly it's the same game, pretty much.
Yeah. So that's really awesome game, and that's funny. You said Star Fox 2 because
Did you order that? Did you make it?
I made it.
Oh, so has there been any confirmation of whether or not the Star Fox 2 we're getting is a fully finished product or the one that Yoshi's holding in his hand?
They probably polished it a bit.
Well,
so the
this
ROMs.
This one would be a 95%.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean, you were saying?
The problem is that Star Fox 2 is meant. It was meant to run on the SFX2 board, I think it was.
Yep.
But there are none that exist. So all of the repros are done on SFX1s, so it doesn't run as well as it should. They're all choppier and slower. That's from.
But the ROM is complete,
right.
is what you're saying.
No, it's still only 95%. And the part, according to the interview that they did with the game's lead designer, the 95% version that is available online is before any of the Nintendo QA process happened.
So that's what we're getting.
Nintendo's QA process is, we're getting the polished version. He said that Nintendo's quality assurance checking tends to be fairly good and can oftentimes change games drastically. Okay.
I did play it, and I have beaten the normal mode already, like quite easily actually. I didn't really notice any problems with the frame rate or running slow or anything. Well, there were a couple spots where it ran a bit slow, but it still ran acceptably. It didn't run any worse than Star Fox 1. So it's an awesome game, even this version. This version's really good.
It's a 30 frames game, right?
Probably less. I don't know. I don't know what the frame rate is because I just plugged it into my Super Nintendo and played it.
Because I'm wondering if that SFX2 chip actually pushed it to say 60 frames per second. Because I mean, a Star Fox at 60 frames would be really nice and smooth. Because I think even on N64, I don't even think it was. It might have been 30. It may not have even been that high.
Most N64 games didn't get above like 25 frames per second.
Yeah.
There's some that are like 15.
Hey, Smash Brothers is at 60. So is F-Zero.
Yeah. And they both feel light years in speed faster than any other game on the N64.
Yeah, I was going to say, now that you mentioned the frame rate, that makes a whole lot of sense.
I think maybe Episode 1 Racer was probably 30. It might have been 60, but I think that was 30 as well.
Enhanced with more smooth game as well.
Enhanced with the, what do you call it? The expansion pack.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. And Body Harvest and the freaking slow motion explosions.
Yeah, almost every game was like that too. I mean, it didn't really matter what you played. Blast Core, everything had that terrible explosion slowdown, and I don't know. But they were all very playable for what they were.
If you are interested in knowing more, Jason, I got that information from the interview from a friend of mine on Twitter. Her name's Ray, and it's at Raygun2K, Raegun 2K. She's the one who had all that information.
Keyboard.
What's up, Coop?
I didn't realize you could see him.
Yeah, fully in frame.
That's my boy. That's Coopy Coop.
You say Raygun 2K?
Yeah, Raegun 2K.
Okay, that's the difference there. There it is.
Yeah, she'd be able to give more information on that if you had any questions. Because as soon as it announced, as soon as the Super Nintendo Mini was announced, that's when she started tweeting that stuff. She's pretty smart with things like that. She built her own. There's pictures of us holding a Buster sword. She built a life-size replica of the Buster sword. Fucking awesome. Oh, I mean, it's flipping awesome.
I just followed. I'll
just
go and digging through it. Speaking of show, I'm on the next episode of Dollar Dorks. Spoilers.
Spoilers.
And actually, all of my pickups are exclusive to the Dollar Dorks feed for this time. All my stuff from Too Many Games and everything.
Boo.
So it's a good handful of stuff. It's probably 20 to 30 items.
So, how's that Game Gear treating you?
I haven't gotten a chance to hook it up yet, even because the baby's room, well, the baby game room, I guess you'd call it.
Oh boy,
it's still kind of not functional because everything's just jammed in there right now,
including the baby.
Well, no, the baby's in our room, but the crib and all the other accessories are in there, and I can't even get to the damn TV.
You know how hard it is to find shelving that'll hold a baby?
Tell me about it. I had to build custom ones. I had to move all my PlayStation 2 games out of the way to put the baby on the shelf.
You know, the one thing I noticed ever since, like, close to the announcement of the Super Nintendo Mini, like, EMU Paradise lost a lot of Super Nintendo ROMs from their website.
Mostly Nintendo first-party stuff.
Yeah,
oh, they're getting flagged, and they're probably getting copyright claims.
Well, Nintendo likes to go around and flag all of their first-party stuff every couple years, and then they wait about a couple months, and then re-upload all of it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
there's There's other sites to go to.
Always super apparent when Nintendo's doing something because it's almost everything's like that. Like AM2R getting ripped down, and then within a very short period of time, we had the Samus 2 remake.
Like 6-7 months later.
Yeah, they do that kind of stuff all the time. Yeah. They don't care until they're like, you know what, we're going to put something out this year. So,
did Mother 4 ever come out?
No, Mother 3 still hasn't come out.
No. I mean the Mother 4 fan game.
No, God, actually in most cases the translations that they have for anything has been shut down at this point. Most of them have all been shut down.
I thought the guy who worked Mother 3, I think he said the translation is pretty that's pretty much the closest to basically being, because there's someone translated, the group of people translated those Mother fans, and they said that's pretty damn close to, like, Nintendo wouldn't even really touch it basically because they would just almost use that translation.
Actually, here's another one that just popped up. Actually, I'm not sure if the cease and desist came from Capcom or if it came from Nintendo. I think it was Capcom. One of the newest Phoenix Wright games that was only released in Japan.
Yeah, there's a translation for that one.
But they didn't even do an actual translation. They live streamed the game on YouTube and used YouTube's closed caption system to translate the game. And their live stream got shut down because of the closed captioning, basically, because they were live streaming that proprietary game. I guess I don't know, copyright strike, which is kind of weird because people live stream shit all the time. I don't see why it's a problem. Developers are crazy, man. Just give us what we want. Stop fighting it.
Sorry. But Mother 4 isn't out yet.
As soon as they finish it, they'll rip it down, Yoshi. Don't worry.
Oh, trust me. I'm going to be sitting there waiting to snipe it. Right like that. Just like I did with AM2R that's sitting somewhere.
And the Pokemon games, when they got rid of that Pokemon Nuclear, I guess, or Radioactive, whatever it was.
I didn't bother with the Pokemon games because I honestly don't follow Pokemon all that much. I mean, I played Blue, Red, and Yellow when I was a kid, but and then I didn't touch it until Pokemon Y, and I'm just like, everything got way too complicated.
That's what happens when you jump from the first game to the 7th.
Yeah,
something like that. But still, it shouldn't be that complicated.
Yeah, Pokemon.
Oh, Yoshi, have you figured out, or have you seen through the grapevine where your other Game Gear showed up? Or does Forgotten Freshness still have it? Do you know?
I don't know.
I'd be curious to see where it showed up. You know what I mean? Like, you might see it pop up on Twitter as somebody's pickups or something.
Nope. I think they may still have it. I don't know.
I'm always intrigued about stuff like that, to see where things migrate to. Like that, remember we were at TMG, they were talking about that $50,000 NWC Gold.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's Bad Graphics Gamers, I think, bought it.
I was surprised it didn't float. I think a couple games floated around between a few different vendors. As one vendor went and bought it, and then the next vendor went and bought it and put it slightly higher, and then the next vendor went and bought it and put it like $5 or $10 higher.
Well, what those guys do is they bundle. So they'll walk over, like Joe from Cerulean Games is one of them, Joe Ross. He'll go and he'll buy whole bundles of stuff off of a dealer. And then he'll break out some of it for the show, and the rest he'll break out for his next show. Like, whenever you see these guys that are vendors at the shows, when you see their pickups always show up at the next show. They're just buying for the next one.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me.
And if you got the money to spend, I mean, they get incredible deals, enough so that it's worth setting up a booth to resell the stuff next time. So, I mean, like, if you walk into a show with gangbusters, you walk in with $2,000 or so, you can come out with some, 40, 50% off kind of deals if you got the money to spend.
Yeah. Yeah. But that it all depends on how much volume you can buy. So I get it.
Yep.
Like they're much more willing to be like, okay, I'll cut a whole lot of price off if you buy, 20 games off of me and spend $500-600.
Yep.
Sure, I'll make it $400.
Yeah, you can get some awesome deals that way. A lot of those guys will buy games that are $100 plus. They'll buy 20, 30 of them in a clip because the deal that you get, they're getting 25, 30, 40% off of that kind of deal, and you're making big money in that case.
Yep. But that's also way more money than I have to spend on video games at the moment.
Absolutely.
I'm supposed to be saving for an apartment. That's not going so well.
Hmm.
You guys want to go through pickups?
I already
Actually,
did mine.
should I show what my new high score in Tetris is first?
Oh yeah, do that.
Yeah, I was waiting for a switching conversation there. So let's see. I have no idea how to screen share properly, but let's see.
NHL 94. No one cares. It's turning into super realist. At least.
There we go.
Holy hell in a handbasket.
Oh.
Yeah, the last one was 3.2, right?
My screen's broken.
Oh,
It says
Here, how about that?
yeah, there's something wrong with your
7.4
DS
million.
there, Yoshi.
Yep.
It's
What?
shows your score has glitched out. Sorry, not Yoshi Fitnat.
Yeah, it's I was taking it low light picture at the time.
I can't.
So.
Are the pixels gone? I can't see the decimal.
Yeah, holy hell.
That's ridiculous.
So Tetris
Have
DS
you been playing that
has-
since last week's Hangout?
No, actually, the even more annoying part about how much higher that is I took a break for about half a week and I played it yesterday.
Fitnet.
With
All
Blend,
day.
it's better.
I don't have Tetris DS yet, but Tetris DS, aside from the hold feature, also has a slip spin, correct?
Where you can like slip the piece in a blank where it shouldn't go.
Yeah, so you can
Yeah.
fit it down into a corner and then spin
Yeah,
when it rests, and it'll wedge itself in.
yeah, that's really helpful.
Okay, all right.
Filling
I know,
filling
like,
blanks into a wall is extremely helpful.
and it'll push too, correct? Like if you push up against the wall, like with a straight vertical piece, it'll
Yeah.
push out and slip in.
Yeah, I think it's called a wall kick because I
Yeah.
watched that Games Done Quick and they started using the terminology and I got a little bit on that. But
Because like Ryan, when you posted up when it popped up on the CC Weekly about high score and using any Tetris
Mhm.
handheld for the high score, they are so vastly different.
yeah,
Like everybody was worried about Pac-Man being different. Tetris blows Pac-Man out of the water as far
yeah.
as variations go.
I think it was also, but just to get more participants to play.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And
yeah,
like the game, still everyone would consider the high score. I mean, like the one really in consideration is Tetris DS, but still, just for anyone shouldn't feel left out. Everyone's welcome to play, even if you can't find Tetris DS.
Because having piece hold is a big one already, but
Oh, yeah.
having that wall kick is insane. Plus, there's also Tetris DS, and I think everything after Tetris DX, I believe, had the ability to, when a piece rests, to slide it. as
yeah.
it
I use the
rests.
slides so much.
Yes.
Which actually brings me back to something from last week where we were trying to figure out whether the infinite spin thing was an exploit or not. I was mixing it up with an exploit that I was seeing online at the time.
Mhm.
But it's basically the same thing as a slide. It just hurts your fingers a lot more and is extremely impractical. So, so that's not a cheat. You're just dumb.
But yeah, big difference that it makes with the wall kick and stuff. Like it
Yeah.
almost makes the game broken in comparison to other
Yeah.
Tetrises.
Yeah, but having the hard drop is another thing that you don't get in the earlier ones.
Oh, hard drop is fantastic, especially for the first 10 to 15 stages. A hard drop is necessary.
Yeah, actually, I turned hard drop off because
Me too.
at the level, I don't mean this to sound cocky, but when you get up to like instant gravity, it is such a detriment to like
Accidentally hitting it.
Accidentally hitting it. That's why I couldn't get higher before. And now I'm up to that because I'm not doing that anymore. Because I kept screwing myself by hitting up too many times in the wrong spot and dropping things where I didn't want them to go.
You still have speed drop by holding down?
Yeah, but like the first few stages, yeah, it does suck. I'm interested to see what would happen if you increased to a higher level to start with in terms of scoring and getting rid of that.
No, I understand what you're saying. Like increasing speed from the get.
Yeah, so you're at a consistent clip immediately, and you don't have to worry about the drop.
I find that's helpful on the original Tetris, on the Game Boy version of Tetris. Bumping up your bumping up your start speed definitely helps, but you're still losing that line bonus that you're getting from running the lower levels.
Yeah,
because that Tetris, the original Tetris, ramps very quickly.
Yeah,
at least I feel it does.
I maybe got to level 4 with a score of 35,000 on that one.
Yeah, and then the speed just gets insane. Like it moves perfectly fine and you're playing, and then all of a sudden it's the next level. You're like, holy this is like it's 2 times speed. Like holy hell.
Yeah. The weird thing about the DS game is the speed seems to stay pretty consistent. Honestly. Anyone else find that?
I canceled my order when I saw the scores you guys were getting. So no, I don't find that at all.
I think it might be infinite as far as people who are actually playing it.
Yeah. You can still aim for number 3.
I'm just happy I broke 100 lines today. I was like, all right, here we go.
Nice.
I did 100 lines once.
Was it before or after I started posting my scores?
I don't mean to change the subject here, but I just want to know, Travis, did you beat that level yet?
I did. I'm on the boss.
Yeah. You're on the boss? You're in the K rule?
Yeah.
I believe in you.
I believe in you, but I appreciate it.
Dixie's the best. Use her.
She's pretty sweet. This got weird.
So, Fitnat, are you going to post that to Twitter then? Or are you going to
Yeah,
Dean out?
I'll post that shortly.
Is that the new record, or is that...
I believe so, unless he has a shadow drop waiting for me.
Oh, when he finds out, I guarantee he's going to go back to work.
Yeah.
Dean has messaged Mark and I 7 scores that are consecutively higher than the last. Fitnet might want to keep playing.
I don't even want to start.
He's gonna Billy Mitchell this, basically. He's gonna have a VHS tape.
Tetris.
He's gonna have a VHS tape set aside.
What was the Beat My Score challenge? Somebody was doing that. Somebody had scores like backed up. Who was it? What challenge was that? Was
that was Pac-Man. Pac-Man people were saving their scores.
Yeah. Guys were just waiting with Pac-Man.
Honestly, when I first started posting scores, I noticed I was being a little snarkier and coming off a little more arrogant than I meant to be. But then I realized, you know what, I can have some fun with this, and I kind of just turned heel and had fun with it.
I encourage it, personally. I like a little trash talking.
Yeah, I just thought that might be I thought that might be fun for people rather than what actually happened, because it gives you kind of someone to knock down a peg.
I feel like we need a wrestling promo video.
Coming for you, Round 2 Gaming,
brother.
But I'll post my score. I have no fear of what Dean will post next, because that'll just make it more entertaining just to keep ramping it. Plus, I did the shadow drop on him once, so I'm kind of owed one.
Dean had a 7-hour flight to Alaska.
Okay, it's going to be a little higher than mine.
What if his battery runs out? Oh wait, no, he gets charged on.
Yeah.
This Sunday at Super Slam.
He's gonna put your score on ice.
Yeah, I can't expect
I'm just-
that, but still.
I'm just kidding. He doesn't send us anything. I don't know if he has any scores.
I wouldn't have been shocked.
And you should saw him go to town on Nibbler. As soon as we start playing Nibbler and did a beat my score challenge, I do a lap around like Portland, and LC come around. You see Dean right there working that Nibbler machine, setting the record all the way down. Basically, it's all Dean's initials, making sure no one was gonna break his record. I think some guy got close, and the Dean just went right. He's like, I gotta go back to work here.
Yeah.
Unless the beat my score is who can use a walk through the fastest, I don't stand a chance at any of them.
Speedrun Final Fantasy 2 /4.
Oh, you know what? I might be able to do that one.
Oh, who watched SGDQ? Anybody watch any of
I
them?
watched the Tetris bit. Shocking.
Oh, Grandmaster Tetris.
Yeah.
Did you watch it because you were in it?
Not quite, but that was a little humbling.
I watched the 45-minute Breath of the Wild run.
Mm.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Green.
Hmm?
What, Eric?
Sorry, I thought I was on mute. I was talking to Melissa.
I'm actually probably later tonight, since I'm off tomorrow. I think I'm going to watch the Earthbound stream, the 4-hour Earthbound stream, because that seems
the last game.
interesting. Yeah, but the Breath of the Wild one was quite impressive, and I learned a few tricks. I had no idea about like the little shield hop. Did you see that, Ryan?
No, I didn't see
Watch
that
the
one.
run.
I was watching. I didn't know when that one was on. Was that because I know they did a Zelda block where it was like Zelda 2, A Link to the Past. Because I was watching it because he was doing a Link to the Past no Master Sword run, so he was
this was
using
like third
any
to
other
last.
weapon. Yeah,
It was like third to last. Earthbound was the last, and I think before that was like Portal 2, and then I think Breath of the Wild was before that.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that anybody can take away to Zelda, which I didn't realize this was a thing, was the shield surfing. When you initiate a shield surf hop, you can cancel your shield and get a double jump, essentially.
I'm gonna have to check. I'll watch that. I'm gonna have to watch that one because I didn't see that originally on the schedule either.
It shows it in like, even if you don't want to watch it and kind of like spoil the whole, glitching of the game and stuff like that, you can watch it in the first 5 minutes. They show how to do it because he grabs the first Boko shield you can get, and he shows that you can essentially, it's when you jump and you initiate the shield hop, that little flip he does. If you cancel your shield, if you unequip it in midair, you just get a double jump, and it's incredibly useful all over the game.
I'll tell you, I was watching the Mario 64 120 star run. I think he got the world record. I'm not 100%, but I know he came close to it. If he didn't, I think he got it because the guy who makes Steel Stick, which is supposed to be like the ultimate replacement analog stick for the N64, made out of steel, and the bowls made out of steel and everything. He's only given away to speedrunners and to professional Smash players who play Smash 64.
Yeah, you can't buy them. I've tried.
Yeah, I've tried it. He's like, there's a waiting order, and it's already like maxed out. He's like, I'm not doing anything until at least the waiting order's canceled.
Yeah.
But like I said, speedrunners and professional Smash players have priority over anyone else. And he's using that as advertisement because like he was like, saying congratulations to the guy for the 120 star run. And I like I said, I think I've noticed him like retweeting like, hey, like the two guys who are in the finals are both like Steel Stick users. He's really like, I really want to get one. I want to see the difference, but he's gonna have to play the waiting game because he's the only one making it by himself too. Well, like a CNC machine.
It makes a tremendous difference having a fresh stick on an N64 because it's actually, I would say, honestly, I think at least it's the most sensitive analog stick of all.
And all those
out of any controller, period.
they're garbage. All those third-party ones are just garbage too. So
Yeah, a good fresh stick compared to a worn one. There's no comparison, and even going to PS1 and PS3 and all, it's the most precise analog stick. Just the slightest touch initiates movement on a fresh stick.
he, like I said, he also does the bowl too. So it's like it's all like brand new pieces, with the exception of like the top. So I'm very just interested in trying it out, basically too.
Doesn't he reuse the he reuses the bands, doesn't he?
I'm not 100% on that one.
Because I wanted to say that I think it was his website I saw that if you send in, you can send in replacement components. Like you can send in a parts controller and he utilizes parts and sends back the bowl and the stick and utilizes your parts if your parts are good. Because I think at the bottom of the stick where the little knob is that fits in the bowl, it has those two bands that essentially control movement this way and movement this way. And he reuses those because he wasn't able to have those made, I think, is what it is.
Yeah, the
So the stick and the bowl are still are metal, but the guides are still plastic.
The site says it's refurbished X and Y gear arms.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yep. Those are the bands, the X and Y bands that go this way that surround the bowl.
I got a couple I can send this guy if it gives me a priority on the list. Pumps me up there. Did you do it, Travis? Yay! we don't have the round of applause button anymore here.
Because Google doesn't like fun.
We have to make our own. You know that, Fitnet.
Yeah.
Did you do the 100%?
Mark and I,
you have to fight him again?
I got maybe 42%.
Okay, because if you get like 100%, then you have to fight him a second time.
No.
That's like gets you 101. Sorry.
I just breezed through
Mark and I are going to announce. We're going to announce your victory on Weekly tomorrow when we record it, and then air it on Sunday, a day before your show, and scoop you.
He scoops.
Or actually have Mark beat it tonight, and Polly kill him before they Polly kill it.
Oh man.
I said in the chat earlier, just like something you said earlier was another message for Derek on that, and I think there was another one in there too.
Hey, when are you guys playing Portal?
Yeah, the live stream. When's the live stream
tomorrow
happening?
night.
Tomorrow night.
Mark. Oh wait, what's tomorrow? Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thursday night. After we record Weekly, we're going to do our first stream. So we record Weekly at 6. Oh. Ugh. The current plan is Thursday night, 6:30. We record Weekly. That'll take about an hour and a half. That puts us at 8 o'clock our time, which is
So 7 o'clock Eastern.
noon for everybody else.
An hour and a half.
You're an hour ahead of me, right, Sean?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. And then we're going to stream for 1 or 2 hours of Portal. That's the plan right now. But I just remembered that Colleen gets home after 5 days of sleeping in a tent with 12 other people Thursday. So there is a very high possibility that all shifts to Friday.
Hey, honey, we're playing Portal. Why don't you sit down and join us? Yeah, that'll go over.
Yeah.
Actually,
I mean,
we're 11 days sleeping in a tent. Go take a shower first.
Yeah.
Then come play Portal.
Yeah, well, yeah. Now, we would be playing from the games room, which would mean she'd be free to do whatever she wanted to relax. But that also means that she'd be responsible for watching the dogs, and sometimes they're a handful. Specifically when we're recording, because they feel like they should be part of the show. So, yeah, right now the plan is Thursday. If it changes, it'll be Friday.
I'm playing Portal.
We're going to do it
vicariously
tomorrow, but
through
Mark's
your
working
stream.
evenings.
I'm playing through you guys.
It'll be the first time. First time we've played it, so it can be like the first time you played it.
Yep.
Are you going to take hints from the audience, the live stream audience, of you getting stuck?
I mean, maybe we did when we 100%ed Super Metroid, we took tips for like the last 15%, I think it was.
Just the tips.
Tips, yeah. We had Rob Man come on and give us some pointers. Although he didn't, he likes Metroid as much as he likes Mega Man. But yeah, we took tips from the audience. Although it's just a puzzle game, and we're both pretty good at puzzle games. So I don't know that we'll need that many tips. I can't imagine it's difficult. It's a 4-hour game, so.
Yeah, 4 hours if you get stuck on chapter 18 like I did.
Yeah. Well,
hey, there's some before that. There's some before 18 that are just kind of intricate.
I was seriously cruising until that level, and then level 19 is really long. That one took like almost an hour or two by itself, just because it's real. Every other one's like really short, and then 19 is really long.
You couldn't find the heal potions, right, for Final Fantasy IV?
Yep, I know. I don't know how healing works, and
I'm just. Right. Okay.
I'm gonna time this. I'm gonna see how long this takes.
I'm just trying to set. I'm trying to mentally gauge where I'm at. So.
Yeah. How far did you get in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3? That's the training and training. Canada. You made Canada, right?
I got to Canada. I got to Canada. Yeah. And then I stopped because I was already in the best country. I was like, all right, I've seen as much as I need to see here.
Okay.
I suspect the rest of it is just rail grinding.
Just grinding, man.
But that was without doing the tutorial. So when I did the tutorial, then I knew what was happening.
But I mean, you're better than most, plus the best of the best equals, somewhere in between those, right? So you guys should have it done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I said better than most. I'm actually going to go look right now. Mark said better than most.
But Mark is obviously best of the best. That was a lie.
Oh, Mark fucking lied. Mark definitely he wasn't allowed. He didn't get to vote because he broke the thing. But there's no fucking way he wasn't saying when we turned those cameras off and he's like, I'm way better than all those hacks. I didn't vote because I'm on a level above that tier. It's best of the best, and then it's Mark.
No, I would say it's Dean tier. I would say Dean's tier is number one.
Day one Dean, yeah.
All these schlubs in the club, and then there's me.
The cartridge slubs.
That's right.
Fuck. Yeah.
Peacops?
Ryan, I was just busting you. I know it's difficult.
No, that's fine. I appreciate chop busted.
When Mark was sticks, he had a difficult time with some of that stuff too.
Musty, what you got? Show us.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna get my pickups ready.
Sorry, I just know that we actually have 5 people watching. It's probably all you guys.
Second windows to see chat.
Maybe.
Yep. Come on, throw it out there. What you got?
Okay. We'll start with I found this. Hard shell 3DS case.
That's cool. Nice.
For $3.
That's a good deal.
It's pretty sturdy. I found this book, which is called Game On 2016. And it's got, it's fairly current. There's an ad in here. Oh, there's they've got like some top 10 lists, like top 10 weirdest games. And there's some pretty recent stuff in here, which is actually kind of nice. Whole thing about Disney Infinity. Stuff that, 10 years from now we won't be thinking about. There's something about Battleborn in here about how it's going to be incredible.
Sean, what was that?
Battleborn.
Apparently I voted better than most.
Yeah.
I found this. I did not have this yet, so I think that.
Wait a minute. Not only did you not have a Lord of the Rings game, but you didn't have a Lord of the Rings game on the Xbox.
I couldn't find it. Now, granted, it's missing the manual, but
and the card.
Yes.
There's a card too. Don't do that to me.
I'll throw it in the trash. Throw it in the trash.
Yeah. I found. I just picked it up because there were. I'd seen like multiple people talking about Endless Ocean.
If you like Echo the Dolphin,
So
yeah, it's like Echo the Dolphin on steroids.
okay,
I feel like there's another source
funny 'cause
for
I picked
interest in buying that game. Sorry.
I picked up Apsu last week, so
Very similar.
is that Super Mario Galaxy. Found that for $8. Complete.
Nice.
Nice.
These are doubles, but I found this for $3.
Sweet.
Complete. I say complete, and I realize that I don't know that that's true. Now then, I've also found another copy of Kingdom Hearts, but then I realized that there's 2 discs in here.
Oh.
And one of them is Kingdom Hearts 1, and then Kingdom Hearts 2 is in here too.
Nice.
I used to love finding those because at a time they were a dime a dozen and like $20 a piece. And now they're like, I don't know, $8 or $10, but they're still cool to find. But like, I remember like used to find them everywhere for like $1 or $2, and it was like big money when you did.
So then at the next thrift shop I stopped at. So there you go. Where does that fit in the?
That's Chain of Memories?
Yeah,
It's between 1 and 2, but they remade it for PS2 as well.
that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's the one that's
and-
on the. That's also on what is it? The 2.5 or 2.8 or
It's on the 1.5.
1.5.
Yeah.
Hyper Prologue, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
These last 4, then I went out and got. My local shop had a buy 3 get 1 free. So the free game I picked up was Patapon on the PSP.
I love that game.
In good shape. But the reason I went out, I started Uncharted, and I was digging in enough that I went and got Uncharted 2,
This is a great game.
Uncharted 3, and they gave me the steelbook for it for $5.
That's pretty cool looking.
Nice. Has the manual. There's probably a sleeve or something. I don't know.
No, there's not.
There's
That's
not.
from the do you want the rest of that collector's edition?
I don't know that I do.
I'll bring it to Barry. It's a statue and a belt buckle and a box that it goes in a ring.
That makes sense. The ring there.
It's in my closet.
Picked up Heavenly Sword.
Good game.
So
Fun
my
game.
PS3, the PS3 collection is growing
Yay.
rapidly.
With that statue, you're gonna get popped by customs for smuggling antiquities.
Possibly. Yep. So that's.
So I know it fits in with the portable, Sean, but if we were to ever do another rhythm game, I definitely recommend Patapon because it actually has a story opposed to most other rhythm games. I know it's a long shot, but
Matt Bandy was playing it months ago. I'm sure that we could use him to leverage Curtis.
it's a lot of fun and the art style's great.
I can't. I have nothing to say at this time.
It's a really good one and actually has a story. Most rhythm games are just that. They're just rhythm games.
Colleen loves it, and it's a game that I really want to play. But I have no official comment on whether or not that will be a Cartridge Club portable game at this time.
Hey,
This
that would be
by Nintendo.
I do not recall ever having any conversation with Curtis and a Russian in that hotel.
Musty, you're ahead of the game. You've already got one of the CC games knocked off.
That's good because I don't know that I'm going to find Tetris DS.
I will just suggest that Musty not sell that game yet.
Sounds like a plan.
And P1 will be going to take that ISO down off of BMU Paradise shortly.
I have a pickup. Can I show my pickup?
Sure.
First, I broke this week, and I ordered some amiibos from Play Asia and Ami. So there's 7 amiibos coming that I'm missing. I have a problem. Somebody please help me. But I get this from Duke.
I just saw that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I tweeted the picture of it. I really like it.
That's awesome.
Square Painter did it, I guess, for him. It's if you don't know who it is, I won't say, and if you do know who it is, you know why I like it.
Is it from Final Fantasy?
Yeah,
4?
he sent that up with a. Yeah.
Palindrome.
He sent that up with a. Yeah.
Yeah.
He sent that up with a nice note, thanking me for the NES Classic earlier this year, and this is. Yeah, it got me good. I had to go sit on the toilet for a bit and think about my day.
I actually just helped him move last weekend.
Duke?
Square Painter. No.
Square Painter.
Yeah, I actually helped him pack up his apartment and move down the road.
Well, I really like this. I'm actually gonna see if I can commission some stuff from him. I don't know if he ships to Canada.
He does. I actually convinced him to join the club about 3 weeks, maybe about a month and a half ago. I say it was. I was talking to him about Cartridge Club, and I was like, "You need to join up," and he's a member now.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Get him on the show.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, he's a good one to throw on a podcast. He's been on a couple podcasts before. He knows a lot of people and travels all over the country.
Get him on the show. Get us a CC discount, you know.
Adam's a good dude. He really is.
I'd love to get him on a show. We book up really far in advance usually.
If it's going to be anything, it'll be a Super. He's a Super Nintendo collector. So if you were to ever have him on a show for CC, it would be a Super Nintendo game.
Okay.
He also likes horror. He likes horror games, or she likes horror games.
Nina likes horror games. She's a huge TurboGrafx collector and a big horror game person. And they're both artists. She does a ton of artwork as well. She live streams horror games and live streams drawing horror type stuff all the time on Twitch.
But he mentioned, and he had his pickups from too many games. He said something to Duke about something getting to him soon. And I'm pretty sure it was that.
Yeah, Duke did that video on too many games, and he showed the picture that he had gotten, or what it was. It was Contra, because it was upside down. So yeah, and he said, "I got this for free, and I can't tell you. I'll tell you why some other time." Because I had known at that point that Duke had sent me a package, and as soon as Duke said that, I had figured that it was a painting.
What happened was Adam did it and forgot to bring it to TMG.
Nice.
He was supposed to bring it for Duke at TMG, and I ran into Adam first, and then I ran into Duke, and Duke was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to see Square Painter," and I was like, yeah, about that.
Maybe don't.
Yeah. So hey, he got a free painting out of the deal, and you got an awesome commission piece.
Oh man, I didn't expect anything from them, and it's blows me away. This family that we've created online is a really special place.
I tell you what, hanging out with him and the family at TMG was awesome. What a great experience.
But not Yoshi, because he's not here.
No, hanging out with Yoshi was awesome. I spent probably...
He stepped away, so that's why I said that.
Yeah, I spent probably half of the day on Saturday with Yoshi, wandering around, looking at stuff, and I helped him put the other Game Gear he had towards Forgotten Freshness. I was like, go talk to him and see if you can at least consign it with another shop. Hey, Yosh. We were talking about TMG and like going out to lunch with Duke and wandering around the show and stuff, and Sean just showed the piece that he got from Duke from Square Painter.
Oh, cool.
Yoshi, you said you had some pickups, didn't you?
Yeah. I already showed some, but whatever. I got Mystery Super Nintendo game, which is actually super released.
Isn't it Celeste?
I don't care.
I'm not trying to correct you. I'm just not sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
the last.
Okay.
That's not. Isn't it called Space Megaforce?
It is called Space Megaforce here,
Okay.
except this is the Japanese version, which is apparently better.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know it was Space Megaforce when I put it on the EEPROM and slapped it in the cart.
Okay, that's why I was confused because I'm like, that's a Super Nintendo. That's an American cart,
Yeah, I
not
got
a FAMI cart. Okay, yeah, I got you. You've burned it.
it's a repro. The next one is too. So I got Star Fox 2 now.
So you could, if I sent you a game that was like dead, you could put a new EEPROM on it. Then basically.
Yes, I could take your dead game and make it into something cool.
Okay, cool. I'll have to remember that.
And because no one cares, the NHL 94.
What happens if I just want you to put
We care.
the same game on it so it's not dead?
I can do
I
that.
fucking
too.
love NHL 94.
Yoshi, don't reflash 94. 94 is the best of the NHLs.
On Genesis.
But-
Along the boards and cut in front of the net and shoot as you're passing the goalie. He will drop into the butterfly at the right, at the side you were coming from, and you will score every time.
Into this game.
No, don't change NHL 94. Change anything else.
Don't do that.
Change NHL 95 or 96, but not 94.
Oh, not 96.
What about
no,
Hardball
not like this.
3?
No,
What about Hardball 3? Is Hardball 3 acceptable?
that is acceptable.
Let me go check the SNES database.
Yeah, don't waste 94s. 94s are actually the only sports game that people want to buy for the most part on Super Nintendo.
Really? So it's good?
They do
Yeah,
tournaments for it. They still do tournaments for it.
NHL 94 is actually like it's between $5 to $10. It's the only sports game pretty much, that's worth something.
I wish I was from the States.
Do you? Do you really?
Well, I can't get anything for $5 to $10 here.
Yeah, Hardball 3 is not going to work. Hey, look, I can put the Japanese version of Sailor Moon R on it.
Yeah, no, I'd rather have NHL 94 than Sailor Moon R.
I can't
Any
put
day.
Sailor Moon R on this.
Sailor Moon.
And isn't Space Megaforce like $250 now? Eric?
Something crazy. The game store owner I know said $185 game.
Yeah, it's in the $200 range with the X3 and all that shit. Earthbound, Evo.
I'll stick with my Japanese the version I have of the Japanese game
Yeah.
because they technically butchered it a little bit when they brought it over, as they do. They cut stuff out apparently. At least that's what I just read off the internet.
You're saying Space Megaforce is in the $200 range? Is that what I heard?
I do
Yes.
believe so, right?
Wow. I'm glad I bought that the night I bought my Super Nintendo, and I happened to walk into a used game store and I bought it for $10 with no manual, but I do have the box. It's probably one of my better pickups. I really like that game.
Box the important part. Hey, look, I can
I
make
don't
Nagane on this Hardball 3 card. But let's not do that.
Wow.
There's literally a database. I'll send it to you because I think you might find it interesting.
It shows which board accepts which ROM.
Yeah. Basically,
Yeah.
you find the raw. Well, don't use the new version. You go to their site and then you click on the back by popular demand old version because it's more user friendly for this stuff because it shows everything you need to see on the one screen. So you basically click it and then it has like show all. Hold on, I can screen share.
You can buy fresh boards now too. They're readily
I know.
available.
I'm also going to work on making some of my own boards and figuring out how the CIC stuff works and all that stuff. But this is the ROM database. So you have a game you want to make. Say you want to make Tales of Fantasia, which I kind of do. Okay. So here's what they all look like.
Yeah, it shows all the boards.
Yeah, so here's all the ones. Let's see. Let's pick this one with DJAP. Which, this is a really big game. So you go over here and you click this little arrow thingy, and then it shows you all of the boards that it works on. Which looks to be none.
How do you remember which browser tab is which browser tab?
All of my browser tabs look like this. You should see my lab computer. It's like 3 times as bad because that one I can open up like 200 Google Chrome windows and the computer's like, yeah, whatever. I'll just use like 15 gigabytes of my 32.
Which one's the porn one?
None of them.
No.
That's my secret cap. They're
That's
all born.
Incognito mode.
If you really want to know, here's some guides stuff for
I thought he was going to show us porn.
the game.
Yep.
Hold again.
That's
Wait,
your thing,
again.
Ryan. This is
Waifu for
porn,
life.
Yoshi.
And this is some site that sells a bunch of labels. Don't let Pat the NES Funk find this one. He'll be really pissed off.
Retro Gamer Case. Okay, I don't remember that.
Retro game cases. They have labels out there.
That guy can eat a dick then.
What?
Retro game cases.
Why?
Because they don't state that they're repro labels.
No, they don't.
That's fucked up. Yeah, I totally am against that.
I don't like that he
120%.
has reproduction labels for all of the regular games, and I won't buy those.
I don't care if they do. Just put on there that it's a repro label. Just put down in a little tiny corner, reproduction.
See, I'm coming here to buy stuff that's like, oh, look at that. You can get Secret of Evermore in 2 players.
I just saw it again. Somebody posted up in one of my Facebook groups today that they bought Mega Man 7 from GameStop when they did their buy 2 get 1 sale recently, and it was fake. It was a repro.
Man.
It was a repro label with a flashed board.
You should almost never buy something unless you can see it.
Well, I mean, it was a whole big crazy deal where people were getting free money and buy 2 get 1, and
I haven't heard of anybody getting the actual game they bought from GameStop. At this point, that's a bigger story to me. Like, hey, I went to GameStop and I bought Secret of Mana, and I got Secret of Mana. It's awesome. Like, I haven't heard that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why people keep buying from there. You know what I
I
mean?
bought
It's like,
Super
every
Off-Road
time I do
the other
this.
Hey, just to tell you guys, when that thing was going on, you know, people were bringing in non-functioning Super Nintendo and N64, and a bunch of non-functioning retro games.
Yeah, it's Jason.
People are scumfucks, Yoshi.
Yeah,
That's
it's
why.
Jason.
Yes,
Jason doesn't have a problem with some scumfuck doing labels, but he brings games that have broken machines.
no, I don't bring broken machines. I bring scratch loosed disc PS1 games.
That's just as bad.
Well, they claim that they're sent back for refurbishing.
A different kind of scummy.
Hey, it's the same thing with the cartridge games.
No, that's different. People are actually bringing in fake games. I'm bringing in legit stuff. It's just scratched up and needs to be resurfaced, which they claim that they do.
I agree with Ryan. If you can't rub it on your skin, you shouldn't pay money for it.
Mm-hmm.
I bought Super Off-Road for Super Nintendo in store the other day at GameStop. It was $7. They had a bunch of retro stuff in there. They had like about a half a dozen Game Boy, half a dozen GameCube, 4 or 5 Dreamcast games. They had a copy of Shenmue in there for $20.
You'd be happy, Jason. I actually sold some stuff to GameStop this week. I got the last day of the sale. I won
The 70% extra credit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Took a bunch of stuff that I couldn't. That I I knew I could. What's it called? I was doing the price, thing where with the 60% would make at least these $2 games that I weren't worth much. Like $6-7 games.
Mm-hmm.
And I got about $70, so I was very happy.
Yeah. I brought in. I went in with a supermarket plastic shopping bag of crap, basically like a scratched up Diablo for PS1, Bushido Blade 2, bunch of random crap that was in my to be resurfaced bin, and I ended up with $480. And then I went in like 3 days later with another pile of like a dozen games and ended up with like another $95. And I bought a bunch of random stuff. 3DS charger. I bought Geometry Wars, Dying Light. I bought a bunch of random shit. But it was definitely worth it. That sale was fantastic.
So I have a question for you guys. EB Games in Canada does not accept. They don't even take Wii games anymore. They definitely don't take retro games. So have you seen a difference in the price of the used market since GameStop has started taking these games either up or down?
Yes.
Has it affected the overall cost? Yes?
Yes. GameStops here in America accept a very limited selection of retro games. Each system has approximately 2 to 3 dozen games that they accept, with Nintendo, maybe and Super Nintendo being the exception where they take a little bit more. But of those games, they're all popular titles for the most part. And if you go on price charting now, you can notice that a lot of those games have plateaued. They haven't so much dropped, but they've plateaued. And if you actually go on GameStop America's website, their prices are surprisingly reasonable on these games. You can find most of them actually for about 10% under price charting price, if not right at price charting.
What avenue, if any, is available to you if you are reckless enough to order an expensive game from GameStop and it shows up and it's Madden 93? Like, can you return it? Can you?
Yep. So what people do
Okay.
now is, especially when they have sales going on, like the buy two get one, they will buy multiple copies of Mario Kart Double Dash, Luigi's Mansion, PS1 RPGs, shit like that they're selling on the site, in hopes that they come complete, because 99% of the time they're loose, but occasionally you do get the whole shebang because somebody trades it in like that. And if they show up loose, the guys just take them right back to the store and return them. Or if they come in scratched, they'll take them right back to the store and return them. You can take them to any location.
If you could order Mega Man 7, it could show up at your house, and it could be Mega Man 7, but you could take Stunt Race FX and put a Mega Man 7 label on it that you bought from, what was it, the Rage Cage, whatever that website was. Yoshi was just on there. And then could you not then return it and say, hey, this game came as the wrong thing?
I mean, I don't know how well. I know for sure they don't check these things because they go out fake. Although, like the Mega Man 7 that the guy who got today, it was Mega Man 7, but it was a flashed bullshit board, China board. So if they did test it in-house, it would turn on as a Mega Man 7.
That's a good idea.
Not real.
I'm going to go to LA Express and order a whole bunch of games for this next sale.
But, I mean, you potentially could, Sean, but they do take your license for trades, and they do take your power-up rewards. If you're a member, they do take your card number. So they could track that trade back to you if they really wanted to go that far with it.
Gotcha.
And in some cases
of it, yeah.
In some cases, like with this big sale they just had, a lot of people took advantage of the system because games like Plants vs. Zombies 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2, you could buy at Walmart or Best Buy for $20, and they were trading in for $46. And so people went ham, and they were getting like $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 in trade credit over the course of 2 days. And a lot of those people, since they gave up their license, they gave up their power-up rewards membership cards, GameStop banned these people. They banned their power-up rewards cards. They banned them from stores. A lot of people got caught.
But they can't take that money from them. They can't.
Yes, they can, because it's in their trade agreement when you sign up for your Power Up Rewards card. When you go into trade, that if it's met by ill-gotten gains or however they word it, that they can renege on any offer that they give at any time.
But that's got to be on them. They got to properly set their trade-in values if they're going to do a big sale like that. Surely that's somebody's fault in the company. It's
right.
If you read the fine print,
a bunch of them on 4th, right?
If you read the fine print, it's in there. A lot of it's in there. And so a lot of these people were going into GameStop with the buy 2 get 1, and they were buying 3 copies of Pokemon. And they were going to the next GameStop down the road and trading those 3 Pokemon in and getting essentially free money for one of them because they were buy 2 get 1 free. And so a lot of these people got banned because it is against their trade policies to do such things where you're generating free money. So you can
make sense.
If they wanted you to be, they could pursue it, especially if you're robbing them for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000.
I spend so much time cultivating good relationships with the people that work at the EB Games around me that I can't imagine doing that and burning those bridges anyway.
I agree. I have my store is actually set to call me when the SNES goes on pre-order if it does. I talked to them.
Our stores aren't allowed to contact customers when pre-orders become available. And that's my official statement.
Not supposed to.
But I have a party. I have a party every summer, and I invite all the managers.
That's right. Gotta do what you gotta do.
I'm glad I have another option because that's how I have my reservation in already.
It's not like I bring cookies or cupcakes in once in a while. I mean, it's
Yeah, hey man. You know what? There are days when I'm going to Hangout and there's a Tim Hortons right across the street from one of them, and I'll stop and get myself a coffee, and I'll grab a 10-pack, like one of those little.
Yep.
Tim Hortons says it's like a box of coffee, and just leave it there for the staff because you guys have been here all day. You're tired. You're on your feet. You got to listen to assholes come in and ask if the SNES Classic is there for pre-order yet. Is it, by the way? No. Okay.
I love doing that. I love going in and as soon as I walk into the store, they'll have one of those signs up on the doors that says, not for pre-order or we're out of pre-orders. And I'll walk in and be like, loud as hell, hey, do you guys accepting pre-orders for the NES Classic right now? What do you mean you don't have any in stock? People in the store are like, oh my God, what's wrong with this guy?
Yeah, for the last, since E3, I call every morning, 10 o'clock when they open. Metroid Collector's Edition, any of the 14 amiibos that were announced at E3, the Hori headset for Splatoon 2, Splatoon Pro Controller, or Splatoon Joy-Cons to see if any of them are available, and none of them are available yet.
I still think you can go to GameStop and pre-order the special edition right now for Metroid, but Best Buy sold out right away.
A lot of the amiibos are available too, I believe, now already.
Canada, Best Buy in Canada, and Amazon and EB Games do not open pre-orders until they're given allocation numbers from Nintendo of exactly how many they're getting. There have been situations when amiibo pre-orders went up 3 days before they arrived. And then it was like, we're only taking 6.
I mean, hey, it's better that way. It really is.
I agree 100%. Yeah.
Well,
I want
pre-orders
give you
are
my
great.
money, I'm getting this.
Eric loves pre-orders. Eric, you pre-order everything, don't you?
There's nothing wrong with what you guys are talking about now.
Well, Sean,
All right, sorry, that's my little joke. Go on, as you
Sean, I still got you.
No, it's a good joke.
In case you can't get hold of it, so.
Yeah, I'll let you know, but I appreciate that.
Yeah.
The thing that, you know what, honestly, Eric, when it really comes down to it, I don't mind pre-orders too much. The one thing I do mind is when pre-orders open at 11:15 on a Tuesday morning, because of course nobody works on Tuesdays at 11:15. Other than that, I really don't mind it too much. But that's the one thing that really frustrates me is these people that wait. And yeah, I understand because Sean, you talked about it on the show. Like if you really want it that bad, you're going to go out and do what you have to do to get it. But when you have a family to support, I can't take off of work to pre-order an amiibo or to pre-order a video game. I can't do that.
But if pre-orders didn't exist, you'd have to take that time off work to just line up outside the store. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but before this whole thing happened,
whether it's a pre-order or day of,
its allocations were different. I mean, yeah, Nintendo has always had problems with allocation, but I've never had in the history of gaming. Yeah, I've never in the history of gaming had problems with allocation up until recently, the past few years.
What accounts for that?
I think it's probably the influx of gamers. I mean, you know, when you go back as far as most of us do with gaming, it was still kind of niche. Even
the market's gotten bigger. That's your claim?
Yeah, even the NES was, you know, yeah, it exploded on the scene, but it was still niche. You didn't have as many gamers as you have today. And you didn't have as many, as Sean calls them, scumfuck resellers back in the day. Like, when did you ever back then? We didn't have eBay. We didn't have Amazon that you could buy a Nintendo with Rob and resell it back in the day.
When you look at the industry now, the industry in gaming is bigger than the movie and cinema industry.
Yeah, it was never like that.
Never anywhere near that in Genesis days.
I watched a video from, I think it was whatever Barbara Walters' show is. Is that 60 Minutes? Or 2020, whatever it was. I watched it from 1988 on Facebook like 3 days ago. Mm-hmm. It's like an 8-minute long video on Nintendo, and it's from '88. And in that video, they're talking to parents who've been lined up outside of stores. One guy was like, "I've hit 7 stores in 7 days, and I can't find this game for my kid. Looking for Adventures of Link, Zelda 2, whatever the fucking title is." So
this was the John Stossel video, right?
Yeah, that's why I said it. Allocation has been a problem since the NES. That's why I said it. But you didn't have the scumfuck resellers back then because you didn't.
We did. There was guys, but it was more Cabbage Patch Kids then. But there was guys selling Cabbage Patch Kids out of their trucks, like
Tickle Me Elmos and shit. I remember that too. But
Furbies were a big one. Beanie Babies. There's always been scumfucks. I mean, the planets. We're never going to be able to get rid of them until we implement some sort of test at birth, and then dash them on the rocks like Sparta.
I hope Beanie Babies get back in stock, man.
But here's what you just said earlier. We didn't have that. Like you said, the market is so tremendously huge that it necessitated pre-orders. Pre-orders didn't exist back then. Pre-orders came about around the turn of the century, around 2000, 2001. We started seeing pre-orders
too. Like until Sonic 2 release dates weren't set in stone. Like,
oh god, yeah, they were. Musty, really? Look at any magazine. They had release dates all the way back to '86. They knew when games were coming out to the day.
I was just never hitting the shops, so that
But they weren't as enforced strictly by the publishers as they are now. I mean,
sure.
If a retailer got a shipment early, that was going on the shelf.
Yep. But I mean, you saw pre-orders showed up about 2000. I would say about 2000, 2001 is when you started seeing places like GameStop start offering, or EB Games at the time, and offering pre-orders, and it was a necessity because the market was so large. They couldn't get the product out there fast enough.
So it was a supply issue?
I would say so. I mean, considering how many people were in it, plus there was so many developers at that time, the market had grown so large. I mean, in the 16-bit era, even up into the 32-bit era, you had 10 companies making video games. At the time that you went into the Dreamcast, PS2, GameCube, Xbox era, the developer scene exploded, and there was so many more people making video games. And so you started getting so many more games than you would ever get on a typical release schedule. And so it necessitated not only for supply, but to see what the market was in general, because these people didn't want to put all their eggs into one basket, making millions of copies of a game if it's not going to sell.
God, you're making my case for me here.
I mean, it's
what necessitates pre-orders today?
Kind of same thing. The market is flooded with developers making hundreds and hundreds of games. I mean, every year we get it's almost like 1,000 games a year, it seems, almost across multiple platforms. And
it can't be a supply issue now, though, can it?
Some of it is. Some of it's.
I think it's a development issue.
It's a little bit of both.
As the development time for a single game goes up, they
Mm-hmm.
need to make money sooner. You know, so there was a year between. I think it was Final Fantasy 2 and 3 on the Super Nintendo. I think there was a year in the difference. There was 15 years between Final Fantasy 13 and between Final Fantasy 12 and Final Fantasy 15.
But for most pre-orders,
As the
they're not
development
making
cycle
money.
lengthens, these companies who they go ahead. Oh, I thought I heard someone. I just think as the development cycle lengthens, these companies are spending more time paying their staff, paying their they're paying their employees. The publishers are paying the developers, and getting paid. And there's no money coming in for 3, 4, 5 years. Some of these games are really long development times. By pushing pre-orders, I don't suspect they get that money right away because it can be canceled. But there's got to be some form of funds transfer. EB Games takes a pre-order. There has to be some sort of money that goes towards the developer. And I think maybe it's just a method of supplementing that long development cost. Here's 4 years that it's been Donkey Kong Country came out 3 years ago. Tropical Freeze came out 3 years ago. Retro's been making a game since then. They've been doing something, but they've been generating no revenue, except a little bit that might still be getting from Donkey Kong. Finally, it is ready. They're a bad example because it's fucking Nintendo, and they're not going to announce it till 3 days before it comes out. But if this was another company, it would be like, we've been making a game for 3 years, 4 years. We're not making any money right now. We need to make money. Well, hey, look, this game is coming. Here's the game. Buy it now before it's done, so we can keep paying these guys. I think the development cycle has something to do with the pre-orders.
I don't think the pre-order system changes the publisher or the developer's revenue stream at all.
Isn't that a confidence thing?
I got to go make a video.
I mean,
I think
This is the way I see it.
I think what we can all take from this conversation is that Nintendo has literally never liked money.
no, it's Eric, like you said, Nintendo, I think, is a supply issue. That's a straight up supply issue.
Okay.
All the other developers and the other systems out there, it's a demand issue. They are trying to gauge demand.
What for?
To not overproduce, to not shoot for a market that they don't have.
That's right.
And I mean, like, you're seeing stuff like Mass Effect Andromeda, which is marketing. They saw their market as being tremendous, and they got slapped in the face because they didn't produce. Whereas you have game developers that they don't know what to expect, and they're trying to just gauge whether or not there's a market for their game.
Yeah, I think that too.
And Mass Effect, that game price dropped quick. It's always on sale. Every week it's on sale for $30, $40 now.
These AAA developers are getting burned now because they did do all these pre-orders. They know how well their games sell. They see sales at the end. They go out and they make this game. And Sean, like you said, with the revenue stream, these guys got the money to let this game float for 5 years, 3 years, 2 years. They've got the money to let it float out there. And they think that everybody and their mother's going to buy it. And that's why
they don't think it. Now, it may be true that the revenue hasn't come in there. They don't think it. They know it.
Yeah.
Because they've got these pre-orders. They've got the pre-orders.
Here comes your day 1 patches and your day 30 patches.
Right. So this is where, and I don't want to give away the whole thing, but this is where pre-ordering is no damn good for us. Because they've got the commitment from you.
Nintendo's the only difference.
Nintendo
and that is
different,
issue.
sure.
Yeah.
That's a straight up supply issue.
But my thing, and again, I shouldn't even be talking about this because I want to do a video on it. But my thing is the incentives are all screwed up now. Because they know they've got your pre-order. They can gauge the size of the market. They know what the size of the market is because people have already lined up. They maybe haven't put money on the line, but in some ways they have. And the product isn't out yet. So when I say things like pre-ordering is bad for everybody, this is what I'm talking about. I don't pre-order. Mass Effect Andromeda is still not a good game. That does affect me.
Eric, is this for this How I See It video?
Yeah, I'm working on one.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't
Some
want to
people
promise anything because I'm having a hard time with it.
Yeah.
Because
people
I'm
would
trying to
disagree
find a
on-
lot of data to
Because every
back up
time
my
he
claims.
records it, he calls all of us stupid motherfuckers.
No. Oh, look,
Listen
hey, look.
here, you stupid motherfucker.
I get pre-ordering. No, it's fine. You guys want to pre-order, but my basic thesis is that pre-ordering is bad generally, and I'm struggling to try to demonstrate that as cleanly as I can.
Is it
Real
fine?
data, not just my opinion.
Is it fine to pre-order a week prior when you know you're going to buy the game, so you know you get the $10 back from Best Buy in advance?
What was it? What was the question?
Is it fine to pre-order like a week before the game comes out? Would you say?
Well, I talk about that in the script I've currently got.
'Cause you get
If
the
you
bonuses.
look, if you, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
That's fine. That's fine.
I know I shouldn't talk about it. No, look, there's a couple of reasons that people give to pre-order, and if you look at the reasons that people give, one of them is to make sure they have the game at launch, right? They want it the day it launches. Now I ask you, what the hell do you need to pre-order it 3 months ahead of time to make sure you get it on day one when Amazon offers 2-day shipping? And if it's not a supply issue, then what are you concerned about by pre-ordering so early? Okay.
Well,
And how can it be a supply issue when we've got digital pre-orders that are happening? Well, it's a supply issue because they make it one. And that's about all I'm willing to say about right now. They
This is the
make it a
script right
supply
here,
issue.
Dennis.
They enforce artificial scarcity, and they make you want to pre-order ahead of time so that they can understand what the actual market is and adjust their development accordingly.
From
That's how I see it.
from one person's data collection point of view for you, the only thing that I pre-order is Nintendo products if I
That's
really
right.
want it. If
Yeah.
I really want it. Like
I'm with
the
you
2D
too. I pre-order Nintendo all the time.
like the 2DS XL and the reprint of Superstar Saga is the only thing I have on pre-order right now.
So why? Why is
Supply.
Nintendo the exception? The
But
supply? It's also the
outside of-
quality.
Yeah. But outside of that, the only other thing I pre-order is very small print run games. Like
Scarcity.
games from NIS America, games from, like your Atlas titles, shit like that. Like stuff
Yeah.
that you know is going to be low print run, and
Yes.
your local store won't even get it if you don't bother to pre-order it.
Yeah, that's the scarcity part of it. That's
My
the supply
GameStop will only get one copy of each game if they don't have more than one pre-order for it.
So
Anyway.
you raised a good point, Eric.
Of course I
And
did. Wait a
Jason.
time. I'm just kidding.
It's
I'm
unusual.
teasing.
I'm taking it back because it's so unusual. But Nintendo, like you said, you pre-order Nintendo, Jason. We all pre-order Nintendo, and it's
Yeah.
because yes, it will be harder to find or potentially harder to find. For me, it's also because I know that price on day one is that same price in 2 years. It's not going maybe by $5.
Yeah, that's
it'll go
another
down.
thing. That's right.
Yeah. And if you've got something like Amazon Prime or the
it is.
Gamers Club, you can get 20% off on that. And that's the only time it's ever going to drop.
But with Nintendo, almost with the certainty that they're going to deliver a finished, polished,
Correct.
quality product. So why do people pre-order Call of Duty? Because they
I
make
saw some guy
70
pre-order.
million of them at launch, and there's no scarcity.
I have
there's
no idea why.
So why does that same thing happen there? Is it for the skins for their guns?
Well, actually, yeah. I mean,
It could be like layaway though. I mean, you throw $5 down now, and then every other week you throw another $10 at it, and then now I have night vision goggles.
oh,
And,
that's interesting.
and
Yeah.
But then you're letting GameStop collect interest on your money.
Yeah, that's just bad I mean, okay, so at the risk of insulting people, it's poor discipline, right? Because you could easily just take that $5 a week and just set it aside.
Yeah, put it under your mattress.
All those
But what if
special
I-
editions
Or
are
what if I have an amiibo problem and I spend all of my extra money on amiibo?
all those
Especially when
special
there's plenty
editions are
of
still there.
pre-order. There's plenty of pre-order places available that don't
Yeah.
collect money until the thing ships. You order
Yeah.
it at Best Buy, you order it at Amazon. They're not going to charge you until it's out the door.
That's
Plus, all those
yeah,
stores, the collector's editions are still sitting there. Even despite their pre-orders, they get allocated more than their pre-orders. And you can walk into any
Western.
GameStop right now and get Call of Duty Advanced Warfare Hardened Edition or whatever the hell you want to call it. You can walk into a GameStop right now and go get it.
Yep.
Western collector's editions are still on the shelves because Western collector's editions are not actually limited.
Mhm.
And I think that's why they're called collector's
Exactly.
editions instead of limited editions because that Uncharted 3 one that I mentioned earlier, I got it on a flash sale that EB Games had for $15.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like with movies, you see collector's edition DVD, and you look at it, it's like, well, the only difference on this thing is the slipcover. So
Yeah.
So why are people pre-ordering that crap? I don't understand. Like okay, hold on here. Here's a prime example. You guys will see this one. This, you won't go into any GameStop and find it. I mean, like, literally. It's a Toho game. Toho Genso Rondo Bullet Ballet. It's a shmup on the PS4. This was
There's a reason we don't find that.
Well, yeah. This is a one-item allocation to each store.
How many do you have?
I pre-ordered this because I knew that my store was only going to get one if I didn't pre-order it.
Well, I
And
know,
that
but I
one
asked how
was
many
alreate
you
bought.
had.
Just one.
Okay.
yeah, he bought every one.
I'm teasing you a little bit. Go ahead.
He bought every copy they had.
I was going to say, well, yeah, your store gets one copy, but you got it at 3 different stores.
But this is the kind, see this America. This is the kind of
Because I
stuff
want
that you kind of need to pre-order because
Yeah,
this
no, I
does
get that.
support the developer to bring these games home. If people aren't buying these, they're not going to keep bringing them here.
Yeah, I have Yakuza Kiwami
Good
pre-ordered.
point.
I know they're bringing out more Yakuza games now, but like that's just to show support. Like, keep bringing these out.
yeah. Keep making these games. We want to see
Yeah.
these games.
But you could
Okay.
buy those games at launch and give the Nier Automata.
Yeah.
It was a game. I said it on the podcast. Buy this game at full price. Tell Sony this is the kind of thing we want you to do. Take chances. Make these games.
Yeah.
I didn't pre-order it. I bought it. It was like a week after it launched.
Mm-hmm.
They still had plenty of copies.
Mhm.
You don't have to pre-order to tell them this is the stuff we want. If you go into the store and they have none, well then they know this is the stuff we want because they've sold out.
But
Well,
Yeah.
they would have only gotten
Sean, on that same
one.
note,
Nier got shipped to every store in a case. They got a case of
Yeah.
those games,
Yeah.
regardless of pre-order, because that's a AAA title from Square Enix. It's
Yes.
different.
But
Right.
I will save my story again that I said here before. When I pre-ordered Nier Automata, I went to go pick it up. They had none on the shelf. I went to, I was like, okay, because I was like looking at the section, see if there's any sales going on. Came up, I was like, here's my receipt for Nier. And they're like, okay. And they're looking at the machine. They're like, I don't know if we have that here. And they're like, I was like, well, my order says it's ready to, the main reason that I pre-order always everything at Best Buy is A, you pre-order in advance, you get $10 back.
Yeah.
And B, I get my 20%. So
Yeah.
essentially every game becomes $37.99 for me. So I go up. They didn't even know what the game was. They didn't put it out. They had it in the back room. They're just like, oh, I guess this came out today or something like that. So that was the clerks did not know what Nier Automata was. So
But if you hadn't pre-ordered it, it still would have been in their back
Still would
room.
have been there.
yeah, in the back room, not on the
You
shelf.
know what I mean?
Some stuff's not like
No,
that. A
but
lot of the
you could have
smaller
walked in and
stuff
said, "I'm
on
looking for
PS4.
Nier Automata." They would have the pimple-faced kid who's working would have said, "I don't know," and then you would have said, "Well, fucking type into your computer and go back and get it because I'm sure it's here."
I've had to do it at this particular Best Buy. I've had to tell them where they're like, no, we don't have it, and I was like, well, your website says you have it, because they'll tell you what stores have what games, what stock. If it's high quality, low quantity, they will, if it's high quantity, it won't say low quantity, blah blah blah. And it doesn't say low quantity. I went in there, I was like, hey, this game's on sale. I want this game on your shelf, and it says it's in stock. They'll say, no, we're all out of stock. And I've threatened them before. I was like, so what happens if your website says you have it, and I order on my phone and choose in-store pickup, and it'll be done in an hour? I was like, I told them, I was like, I will do that. So you have to go in the back room and look at the game, because they won't do that at this particular store. And it's one of the, I guess, the more heavy traffic Best Buys in my area, basically, where that's one of the ones where they always do the demos for like PlayStation and Nintendo games is at this particular store. They just don't care, because they don't like restocking, because that's the night shift's job to do, is to restock. So they don't want to restock the shelves.
Oh, God.
There's so many different avenues on pre-orders, Eric.
I know.
It's almost as far as making a stance one way or the other, against or for it. There's so many avenues that there's almost no stance on it.
That's fair.
There is good and bad points across both spectrums, because you might have a problem with the AAA developers getting money for a game that's going to be all over the shelves. The indie guys are looking for your pre-order because they just want to survive. Nintendo's having supply issues with everything. It's like there's so many varied points on the subject that you could be anywhere on it.
Yeah. Well, I am doing a video on it because I mean, and this has changed since then. But the Bonus Barrel guys were talking about it, and I was a little bit surprised because in their first podcast where they mentioned it, they couldn't come up with anything that was wrong with it. Nobody, at least no one commented on what they thought was wrong with it. And that's since changed. But yeah, my video, the one I'm working on is basically to say, what I think is wrong with pre-ordering, what's really going on, and why there are some negatives that I think people should be, that came to my mind immediately. This could potentially be a very bad thing. And I think if you look at some of the things that have happened in recent years, some of the negative things that have affected the gaming industry, and I'll give you a couple of examples. And don't get me wrong, because the fact that we have internet connectivity has also so don't confuse. I'm not confusing correlation with causation, right? But things that have increased a lot in recent years are games that have broken at launch, very disappointing games that have launched. Day one DLC. Where the hell does day one DLC come? Well, I could make an argument that it comes from pre-ordering. And DLC in general. Why are games? Day one DLC is the big one. Why is content that is already developed not being shipped
on the disc?
The game? Why is it not being included as part of the game? And I propose to you, it's because it doesn't have to be. Because people have already told the developers what they wanted. They've already told them, hey, I'm willing to pre-order this. I don't know what's included in the game. I don't care. It's 6 levels, 8 levels, 10 levels. I don't give a damn. I'm putting my money down. Well, how can we be surprised that Day 1 DLC exists at all? Of course it's going to exist. It's an obvious consequence of pre-ordering. That's my claim.
The one counterpoint to that, and this is just my little counterpoint. It might not be everybody's, but the one counterpoint to that is, as Sean said earlier, development cycles have changed tremendously. Yeah. And I'm not defending this because I don't purchase DLC, period. I don't buy it. That's it.
Yeah, I feel like I was going to say something similar. Go on.
Development cycles have changed. And now from dealing with limited run games, I've seen just this little slice of how these larger companies like Sony and Microsoft handle their pressing and distribution.
Yeah.
And a lot of times these developers are put under a gun to produce. It's almost like Kickstarter, having to have a functional prototype in order to have a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
These guys got to have a game to get it out there. And Sony says, we want it by such and such a date. Development cycles progress. They get it by such and such a date. And then when the game gets pressed, they're like, well, we have a whole lot more to offer. The game's not out yet, but we're still working on this thing to make sure it's right. They just needed it now to get it out there. Yeah. Because they have to meet your pre-orders.
That's exactly the point I was about to make. And where does that pressure come from? And does pre-ordering help with that pressure or relieve it?
I think it comes from your distributors. I think it comes from Sony. I think it comes from Microsoft. Yeah.
Anyway,
pushing the development cycle to release a game now rather than when it's done.
There's a lot of pressures. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like
it's
kind of like how developers will measure like who gets bonuses by what the Metacritic is. It's just kind of like it's really weird that way. I had another point, but I lost it.
Well, the release schedule itself is typically based on public companies is based on quarterly earnings. So you've got to, in order to meet shareholder expectations, you're going to create price.
And something. Sorry, I just remember my point was going to be on DLC. Was they also did the DLC, I believe, was a counterpoint to pre-owned game sales. They needed to make something to keep getting money from people after they've already bought the game. Yeah. Then they keep them from selling it and getting money from that, and then they get the game sold again, but they're not getting money from that.
You know who never worried about that and still doesn't worry about that?
Nintendo?
Blizzard.
Oh.
Yeah.
Blizzard has always produced perfect games out the gate. They didn't worry about getting your money down the road. They wanted your money now, and they were happy to provide a product accordingly. And they've never worried about it.
Blizzard games lock the CD keys to your
I would argue that Warcraft wanted to get your money now and down the road.
World of Warcraft?
That's an MMO,
right? Yeah. But that was just a monthly service, and that was any MMO at the time.
Yeah, that's the video game equivalent to a monthly magazine subscription. It's not really the same thing.
But the games that they released for actual purchase just straight up purchase to play the game.
Yeah, the games.
Most of them were
actually
free. The content, the DLC, so to speak, in almost every case was offered for free up until like last year. I mean, like that's most companies could have done that, but they didn't.
Yeah. When does Doomfist drop again?
Yeah.
But actually, another thing, just on Blizzard for a second, is as someone who's been on Macs my entire life, I really appreciate Blizzard because they always put the game out on Mac and it always ran well.
And it always runs on old systems.
Except for Overwatch. Damn you. But,
most of the games work on old systems. They work on new systems as they come out. They're constantly fixing shit so it still works. Hell, Diablo 2 just got a patch like 6 months ago so that it'll work on Windows 10. Like, they didn't have to do that.
It works on Macs again.
They're giving StarCraft away for free.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't have to do that, but they do. Why doesn't every developer do that?
Yeah, and they give you digital copies of games you already had or just picked up recently at a thrift store based on you providing the security key.
Yeah, and VG, you can take your CD key. Like, if that copy, if you sell it used to somebody else, they can take that CD key and re-enter it and use it, as long as you're not using it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And in most cases, you have to have the disc to use it anyway.
I gotta go, guys. Sorry, Canadian Retro. Hi, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
I gotta leave.
Oh, sure. I know how to clear a room.
Eric, good chat, man.
I got the sprinklers running, and I got to do some other stuff. So
hit me up on Twitter or something if you want to chat more.
Yeah. This has been great. I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate your insights. Talk to you later.
Anyone want to see my pickups?
No. I was gonna say that was a really good conversation, but so sure, go on.
I got Travis. Do you have a little? I got a bunch of stuff here. So Travis, you got small. All right, I'll just go. I'll make it quick. All right. So I posted on Friday. So I was going to see my nephew play his Little League game, and I found out the field is right next to the honey hole, where Musty attacked when I was gone on vacation. So I stopped in there just to see what's going on, and they had a bunch of stuff. And everything was $2. So I kind of went ballistic and nuts and bought a whole bunch of stuff. So most of it was strategy guides. So there's a lot of books here because I collect strategy guides. And I normally don't buy too many new ones, but I bought the ones for games I really like and probably will play again. So I'll just grab them. There's no particular order to this, but I'll just grab them how I come out of the bag here. So Mass Effect 3. BioShock. BioShock 2. You
got a good Goodwill.
Yeah. First Mass Effect. Mass Effect 2. Last of Us. Brand new, still sealed copy of Dead Space 2. Dead Space 1. I left Dead Space 3 because I hate that game. BioShock Infinite. Arkham Origins. Arkham City. Should be a club game.
Not a chance.
We could debate the QTEs that you guys get wrong.
No.
Twilight Princess.
I believe only one of them got that wrong.
And Metal Gear Solid 4. So those are all the books I bought from them. There was also a couple games that were in the cabinet. These are also $2 a piece. I also had $5 to spend too. And I'm trying to find. There's one thing I'm missing here in this bag. I'll find it some other time here. I'll save it for next week's Hangouts if I can find it. I don't know if this one's any good, but Jackie Chan Adventures for the Game Boy Advance. Tactics Org? It's an Atlas game?
Tactics Ogre.
Ogre?
Yeah, it's Ogre.
Tactics.org.
Sorry.
It's a strategy RPG.
If you can't pronounce it, just leave it back in the store for the rest of the people that know what they're doing.
Nope.
Yeah.
I saw Atlas, and I was like, it's got to be worth more than $2.
Yeah, leave it
it's
for
like
the
about
real
20 to
gamers.
25.
Excellent.
Decent one.
So I'll be flipping that one.
I just Googled that, Ryan. I just looked up, and apparently Tactics Org goes for $8 Canadian.
Well. I paid only $2. Golden Sun.
Sweet.
Good game.
That's a good one.
And then I got a bunch of like loose PSP ones here. So I got Resistance Retribution. Jean Dark. The Arc.
Jean Dark.
There you go.
I'm looking for that one. That's one I got in my.
It's Joan of Arc, essentially.
Yeah.
For real, I'll bring it up to Canada if you want.
You got a case for it?
Nope.
Screw it, then I don't want it.
All right.
It's Joan of Arc.
Disgaea.
Jean Dark and Tactics Org.
Jean Dark.
Yeah.
It's the
email Jean Dark at tactics.org.
Jean Dark is Joanna Dark's daughter.
And you guys are really coming with the hits today. Fantasy Star Portable. So those are all from Best Buy, Goodwill.
All from the same Goodwill?
If you didn't know, Ryan, Phantasy Star is an RPG.
Yes, these are all for trading and selling because I figured the
I
price.
didn't even know there was a Phantasy Star game on the PSP. That's cool.
And I also the Carney was having a sidewalk sale party. So he was having a sale going on, and he had a bunch of people who were resellers having their tables outside trying to sell like all their extra stock. So I couldn't get what I really wanted from his store, but I bought some stuff from some of the vendors outside, and I bought these for a couple of bucks a piece. And I got one of them was Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars, which is a coming up portable game. Loose, and I bought The Third Birthday,
Square Enix,
which is
Third
Parasite Eve game. The only thing that sucks. Well, here's also was part of the pickup too. I bought a PSP case for my PSP, but the thing is, this one won't play. It shows up, but it won't play unless I upgrade my firmware on this thing. But I don't want to mess up my, jailbreaking on the PSP that I have because I bought it specifically for playing emulators on it. But Chinatown works fine on it. It says I would have to upgrade to 6.37, which I think still might be fine. I just know if you upgrade to 6.61, I think the emulators don't work anymore in the PSP. So. And then I also picked up just a not for resale copy for $2 for Virtua Fighter 2. And the guy also threw this in because I bundled all this stuff, so he gave this to me for free because like I don't want to throw this away. And I was like, well, I collect N64 strategy guides, so.
So what you're telling me is I need to get in the car and drive to Wisconsin and get all of these great deals because none of that shit exists out here anymore.
It's not every day.
I'm with you, man. I haven't found squat lately.
When I was cashing out at the register at Goodwill, the girl told me, she's like, "Oh, you're getting the rest of it?" I'm like, "There was more," and she told me, I guess someone got like an N64 with no controller for $20, and I'm like, "Oh, that's a pretty good deal." And I think she said there's a couple other games that the guy got, but I'll take what I got, I guess. And then because I sold this a long time ago. Because it was just too short and I wanted to get something else. So I rebought this so I can recomplete my subset. So I have Resistance 2 with the manual, with the disc for $1. And then I bought this for $13. I thought that was a really good price for the 6-button or the revision 2 of this Saturn controller. So
nice.
So I figured that was a pretty good price. So now I have 2 controllers for my Saturn. So
that's one of the best controllers ever made.
Yes.
So comfortable.
If you see another one of those, Ryan, before Barry,
snag it.
And you grab it, that'd be good.
Sure. You want a Genesis one too?
I think Derek hooked me up with a 6-button Genesis one.
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure he has. If I'm wrong, he'll let us know on Twitter tomorrow. And then
Okay. I also have something else, but like I can't find it right now. So if I do, I will save it for next week's pickups. It was at the same Goodwill. So, ta-da!
Nice. Good pickups. Good job.
Yeah,
Thank you.
good haul.
All right, Travis, you're on the clock.
Lay it on us.
All right, so I saw on Reddit they were posting how you could take loose Game Boy games and stick them into a cassette case, like an old music cassette, and I thought that looked pretty cool. I like the look of it, the sleekness. Loose Game Boy carts are kind of annoying because no matter which way you stack them, you can't really see what games you have.
Mm-hmm.
So I answered I don't have many Game Boy games, but I answered a Craigslist ad. And this guy said he had this just big bucket of Game Boy and Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color games for offer. And I was like, okay, so I'll go by and look at them or whatever. And I get there, and it's a rundown, dingy place. I mean, it's like high noon, and I do not feel safe. There's like chopped off heads of Barbie dolls laying all over the place. And he's like, come on in. I was like, not feeling great about it. But, I'm thinking about this ad, and I was like, there's a lot of games. I mean, maybe it's worth it. You know, I just won't touch any needles while I'm in there. And
that's a good policy.
He goes to his house, and he's chain smoking. And he's like, you don't mind if I smoke, do you? I'm like, it's your house. You can do whatever you want, man. It's fine. And I go into his room, and he just kind of leaves me there for like 20 minutes and goes downstairs and talks to somebody else. He's like, I'll be right back. And I'm just in his room like, Jesus, why did I choose to do this? But eventually he comes back. I don't know, I guess he got sorted out, whatever he sorted out, and he breaks out all these games. And it's just it's a pretty decent bag of games. And I won't go through all of them because, a lot of them are just kind of pedestrian. There's some, 007 World is not enough for the Game Boy Color, Towers, Lord Banniff's Deceit, a lot of stuff I hadn't really heard of, but, it's kind of cool. I wanted to get into collecting it. But some of the better stuff I saved over here. He had 3 CIB boxes for the Game Boy. There's a Clayton box Turok, Battle of the Bionosaurs, Game Boy Advance Space Invaders, and Game Boy Advance The Incredible Hulk. So that was kind of cool. They were in pretty good shape, and I don't have any boxed Game Boy games, so that was neat. But some of the better ones that I got from him that I've already cassetted, so to speak, include Battletoads, and you can see I got the cases.
Actually, that's really fucking cool.
Lady Sia, put that one in one just to see how the Game Boy Advance games worked in there, and I can open it up for you if you're actually curious how these look.
Yeah,
but,
that I am curious. I saw the tweet earlier today, and I was super curious at how everything fits in.
Yeah, it's actually kind of. I've seen people do a little bit better a job than me. So you can see here, a lot of people will go ahead and put foam on the outer parts here so that the art stays pressed against the label. But the Game Boy Advance games especially fit right in between the teeth.
Awesome.
So maybe just slide it in here and it shuts fine. The Game Boy Advance games actually fit the best. You have to do a little bit of tinkering with the regular Game Boy games. So another one that I got was Bionic Commando, which is not a cheap Game Boy game, so it was nice to pick up in that lot. And the Game Boy games, you have to chop out the teeth. So if you've ever used the universal game cases and you use like the snipper pliers, you just dig down in there and snip it out, and everything fits in there fine. And just to test it, they still fit in these actually still will fit in there too. If you have I have way too many of these protective cases I don't know what to do with, so they fit. It fits in there great and shuts fine, and the spines look really good too, all lined up.
Will it fit leaving one of the tits in there, Trav?
Yeah, actually, I took out 2. Did you call them tits? That's awesome. I took out 2 of the tits on Bionic Commando just to see if that protective case would fit. But I'll let Castlevania roll in there naked if I can get it to open. This is the single tit approach, if I'm showing this right. And they fit in there. And I put the art up against the paper. That way it doesn't get scratched on the gnawed-off teat. And it shuts fine.
That's cool. That's a good idea then. I like that. If you can, because it locks it, that one teat kind of...
Yeah, it keeps it from sliding around.
I like that.
Gauntlet 2 was another one I got from him, which was pretty cool. And then right before I let... Oh, actually, no, there's a couple more. There was some Game Boy Advance games. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance was pretty neat. Shining Soul and Shining Soul 2, which is kind of cool.
Couple good finds. They're
Yeah, those are pretty good.
20 to 30 bucks a pop.
Yeah, I thought that was probably the better of that and Bionic Commando. But then right before I left, the dude, he's really spaced out. It's like not normal. And he's like, you want some of the booklets with them? I was like, yeah, dude, if you got those things, sure. Yeah, the booklets is great. And so he's like, he just hands me a stack and he says, like, some of these are games that I gave you and some of them aren't. So I have manuals. Sorry, Ryan.
No, that's fine.
I don't even own now, but it's not for all the games, but there are a lot in here.
Ooh, snap.
I mean, just tons of them. So it was a pretty good haul, and I gave him $50.
Nice.
And got out of there safe and sound. All in all, pretty nice guy, but from the onset, I was really worried I wasn't going to come out of there healthy or alive. But
he's got a little bit of lung cancer, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he left and went to do something, did he come back in different clothes in a different voice?
Kind of a
get in the hole.
It was kind of a Ricky Bobby situation because there was somebody downstairs in another room just yelling for him, like Kevin, like the meatloaf. Kevin was like, what? I'm up here, and I was like, oh god, this is not cool. But
did he ever? It sucks.
I don't suppose Lilo and Stitch was one of the Game Boy Advance games?
No, it was not.
Okay.
But if you guys are looking for specific Game Boy Advance or Game Boy Color or Game Boy games even, I'd be willing to deal these out if you wanted them. I really just wanted them to use the cassette cases.
Lilo and Stitch is a fantastic game. Sean, have you played it yet?
No, I'm trying to find a copy. I live in the middle of fucking...
I have a knockoff
Central.
one you can have.
You should be able to eBay it pretty cheap. It would be more expensive for anybody in the U.S. to send it to you than probably buying it off of Canada eBay.
It's like $2 in the States.
We can just bring it there in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Because it literally in the U.S. it goes for 5 or under.
I haven't checked eBay. I just keep looking around here local.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like a little kind of mini Gunstar Hero kind of game.
Yeah, I heard that. I probably heard it from you.
Metal Slug, actually. Probably closer to Metal Slug.
Yeah, you got the pineapple grenades.
Yep, and the shooting mechanic with the whole gun recoil and everything and the shooting up in the air, it's like Metal Slug.
I asked my my local game store guy if he had it, and he was like, no, I don't. I was like, I'm not fucking around, man. I'm looking for this game.
Trav, if you don't mind me asking, what state are you guys from?
Virginia.
Ah, okay. My brother's down in Virginia.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. He's down. He's in Chesterfield, just south of Richmond.
Okay. Yeah, we're on the other side, closer to Tennessee.
Are you close to Norfolk?
What was that?
Are you close to Norfolk? Norfolk?
Oh no, that's coastal. We're mountainous.
That sucks.
Sean knows the Navy port of Virginia, right?
Well, I've been there like 3 times. That's where Rip lives there. I hang out with Rip and them there.
Yeah, it's probably a 6-hour drive for me, but I'd go drink with you there if you came by.
Actually, it's about a 6-hour drive for me. I'd come down and drink with you too.
Vintage came over once. He drove down because he used to live in just south of DC, I think. He drove down and I brought him on the ship and gave him a little tour.
Let us know when you're back in the area. I'll take a trip down to Virginia. I'll see my brother and see you too.
Where are you at, Jason?
I'm in Jersey.
Oh, okay. I'm in Connecticut.
Oh yeah, Retro World Expo.
Yeah.
You excited?
Yeah, definitely. I'm like probably 40 minutes from. I'm in Stamford.
Did you come down for TMG?
No, I didn't. I had to work.
Oh man, have you been to TMG?
Not yet. No.
Oh my God, that's the show to go to. Retro World, I heard, is getting like close. Like it's growing quick and fast because it's got good backing from RetroWare and stuff.
Yep.
But TMG is the show, man. It's like going to Portland, but over here.
Yeah, I just watch a ton of TMG out videos and read articles and stuff about it. It looks like a great time.
So wait a minute. That means that the Cartridge Club East Coast chapter is more than I thought. There are more club members than I thought there were.
We're everywhere, motherfucker.
I thought, well, I was under the impression we had the whole East Coast chapter at TMG between Yoshi, Duke, and myself.
No, because Rip's in Virginia and
Trav and Jake are in Virginia.
Yep.
BG's up in Connecticut, so we're like, hey, we need to get something going.
Yeah, definitely.
Yoshi's in PA.
Yeah. Lowe's.
Yeah,
in
well, he came
Pennsylvania.
out for
Lowe's
TMG.
in
Yeah.
New York.
No, Lowe's from Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Oh, Lowe's Pittsburgh. Why did I think Lowe was New York? We were talking about that. Duke, Yoshi, and I. We were talking about that. And we thought she was from New York for some reason.
I think she's from Buffalo, but she lives in Pittsburgh. I think is what it is.
Okay.
Who else? There is 2 people who live in New York. I can't remember who they are. Dean would know. Dean's
Do we have anyone south of Virginia? Like
Is Daria-
Florida, the Carolinas, or
Not that I know of.
You know what? There's a map on the
not that it
fucking
makes them
website.
south.
Yeah, but not all of us are on it, I don't think.
Is Daria technically a club member because she's Florida?
She signed up for the forums just to
Yeah. Kind of troll us a little bit.
a little bit.
I'm okay with it.
Because we were asking for who was going to be the 100th. Was it the
Oh.
100th forum member?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, actually, VG, what's your trip to Jersey? How long? 3 hours?
Depending on where in Jersey, not even.
Parsippany, North Jersey.
Probably an hour and a half, depending on traffic.
AVGC, a video game con, is coming up in, what is that, August? August or September? I think it's August. That's one that's kind of up and coming. Sees like 3,000 to 4,000 people.
Oh.
It's a weekend, and it's a relatively inexpensive show, and it's growing quickly. So that's a good show to come down to if you want to
Nice.
fit another one into the
Yeah.
schedule,
like,
because I know there's not a lot up in your area except for
Yep.
Retro World.
Yep. September 9th and 10th, it looks like AVGC.
There you go. Yeah, come on down. I'll meet you up there if you want to go.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. That'd be a blast.
I'll be there.
Are you going up to Barrie?
Between the new baby and accessing a passport and
Yeah.
the whole shebang was just a little too much for this year. Maybe spring. If not, then definitely the cartridge con next year for sure. I will most definitely be there, if not going to Barrie in spring or fall of next year. And I think Portland is in the cards next year as well.
Oh, nice.
Not this year. It just can't put the money together, but next year. My son will be
I don't
on
know any of these people.
a year and a half old. Should be able to leave. Maybe.
You're looking at the map.
I'm closing it. It's depressing. I don't know any of these fucking people. Rich is in Georgia or North Carolina. Rich was lower than Trav, and there was suddenly Senpai. Call that is in Florida, or sorry, Georgia. She's in Georgia, and Rich was North Carolina. Those are the 2 southernmost people on the East Coast.
Yeah, I thought it's
Where's,
Raleigh. I don't remember who.
Pack Valet Kirkun.
How bad of a trip is it, Sean, from Nova Scotia down to, like, say, Connecticut?
I don't know. Not too bad, I guess.
And what is it, like 6 hours or 5 or 8, or is it a giant trip?
I'd have to look. I don't know.
Because Retro World Expo down there, which is coming up in the fall, maybe not this year, obviously, but that's a pretty substantially large show in the realm of a Too Many Games, a Portland Retro Gaming Expo that you might actually have access to if you wanted to go to a more traditional, what we call video game conventions instead of the video game swaps, where it's got all the panels and the music, and Retro World Expo is probably the biggest and closest to you, I would think.
Looks like I just pulled it up on Google Maps, and depending on where you are in Nova Scotia, it's quite a hike. We're talking like 12-hour drive.
Ah, damn.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how far Nova's out there, man. Like, Nova Scotia's really far out there.
Buddy.
And it looks like
We're in
you've
a
got to go
fucking
up
time
and
zone,
around
bro.
and down, so you can't because the bay.
Yeah, we have to go up and in, and there is a ferry we can take across, but fuck that. They pay me a lot of money to sail. I'm not doing it on my own dime.
You got to sail according to the con schedule. Just tell the Navy, listen, I got a show.
Yeah.
What's going on in Connecticut? We need to go down there. Turn this fucking ship around.
Yeah. Like Barry is from my door to Bill's door is 17 hours and 15 minutes if we drive straight.
Holy shit.
So.
Yeah, Canada's not screwing around when you cover distance here.
No, we're not. It's 1,800. It's over 1,800 kilometers.
Yeah.
Which, if you guys are Americans, you don't know what that means. It's far.
Was it 2,500 miles or 3,000 miles?
72,000 miles.
I don't know.
Far.
Looks like Barry will be about a 9-hour drive for me.
Yeah, that's what it is for me too, pretty much. Close to that.
You're coming up to
9.5
Barry,
from
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm gonna head up there probably Thursday night. Head up that way.
You already have a hotel booked?
No, not yet.
There's a big country music festival happening that same weekend.
Oh, really? Oh, that's good to know.
So you might want to do that sooner rather than later.
Okay, thanks for the heads up.
No problem. I think it's called Boots.
Add
and
him
Hearts.
to the floor in the house.
Floor space.
I think we're looking at pushing to an 8th as it is. So I don't know about stretching that house much
Sneak
further.
him in at night, and he leaves in the morning. There you go.
I mean,
Boom.
depending
That's
on
right.
how the pool party goes, Colleen might not be coming back with me to Bill's place, so you could spoon with me.
Reasonable.
Got her eyes set on that pool house.
Go full on Kato Caitlin.
Yeah.
Well, I got some pickups here I can do too before we.
Sure.
Roll
Yeah, so
on.
do I bet you go ahead.
So I picked up this turd sandwich.
I've
Unholy
seen that
Night.
floating around. How is it?
It's pretty generic. It's sort of a 2D Battle Arena Toshinden, kind of the weapon fighter.
That box was really nice, though. Like that was
Yeah.
fucking...
Yeah, it's like all glossy and it's standard standard Super Nintendo size. The insert's kind of weird. It's got a full color manual and everything.
Not gonna lie, that shipped awfully fast for everyone. Because everybody I know that was talking about it had their copy in like 2 days, it seemed.
Well, it was all through Amazon.
Yeah.
So it was Amazon
Oh,
Prime.
that's a new game. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel dumb.
Is that like a weapon lord kind of?
Yeah, it's basically like it's just a weapon-based one-on-one fighter.
Okay.
When I first saw the picture of like the artwork on the front, I thought it was like a
I
Castlevania-esque
did
game,
too.
like Curse Castilla, and I was like,
Yep.
"Oh man, it looks cool!" And then they were like, "No, 2D fighter. No,
Yep.
thanks."
Yep, that made it way less exciting. I picked up. I'm going for a Wii U set. I have the Wii U set, but I'm going for cover art variants. And this one is the Family Game of the Year Mario 3D World.
Nice.
I have like 5 cover variants left to finish that off.
You completed Wii U, huh?
Yep.
How much did a Hello Kitty set you back?
I actually got it when it was bargain binned out for $8.
Nice.
I think it's factory sealed too.
Nice.
Yeah. In fact, I just haven't played a whole lot of the Wii U, so most of the stuff is sealed. I don't really open it till I play it. And I'm going for a set of the PS1 long boxes.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked up a lot of 6 of these that I was missing. This is the US cover art variant for Wipeout. This is the rare variant. The standard release has like a Japanese style cover art and then a slipcase that has this cover art on it, but this is the one with the US cover printed right on the long box. Mortal Kombat 3.
Nice.
High octane, really shitty combat racer. Triple play. And this is another cover variant that I mentioned last week on the Hangout. This is the non-Sony Interactive Sports cover variant for NHL Face Off. This one and NFL Game Day both exist with and without the sort of, if you look at the manual, this logo down at the bottom.
Holy shit! I gotta check and see which ones I have.
This is the one without it is the rare one.
I think that's the one I got sitting in there. I got a couple long boxes as well. At if you're coming to AVGC, I'll bring them up. I've got like Resident Evil, Primal Rage, a couple of the sports games, Nova Storm, a handful of them.
Cool. I'll hit you up on the forums with a list of what I still need.
All right.
And this is the last one, Virtual Tennis or V Tennis, which is actually kind of hard to find. Cheap, but hard to find. Walmart had a deal. I know a couple of, probably a month or two back, I posted that I'd bought a bunch of PSP games on Walmart, and they had a similar deal or no deal. These were like $1, and if you bought $35 of stuff, you get free shipping. So I bought 35 of these to use as replacement cases. So if anybody needs any DS cases, let me know.
Do those have the Game Boy Advance slot in them?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh,
I haven't busted one open yet. I just got that box today. I got the Steelbook edition of Final Fantasy 12. Looking forward to playing through that finally. And Goodwilling, I found some Wii and PlayStation 2 stuff. Aqua.
I've been looking for that game for a while.
It's sort of like a bizarre strategy style game where you build up repositories for water and you sort of mesh the terrain so that it holds water without it leaking out. Kind of unique. R-Type Final. I think I only have like 1 or 2 R-Type games left to finish that subset. Beyond Echo Night, survival horror, kind of space themed.
Yeah, I've always been curious about that one because there was a demo of it and I played that a little.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to giving it a try. It looks like it probably doesn't control the greatest. I look at a few videos of it.
Probably not.
Snoopy the Red Baron. Kind of reminds me of Crimson Skies or Pilot Wings a little bit.
Supposed to be very good too.
Really?
Yes, actually, like a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
I've heard the same.
Dead Space Extraction. Sort of a light gun shooter for the Wii. This one looked like it'd be a fun party game. Fortune Street. It's a Square Enix Nintendo mashup.
I've seen like 2 videos about that game recently, and people were saying it's awesome.
It's
Really?
like Mario Party meets Monopoly.
Yeah, it really looks a lot like, just looking at the mini games on it, a lot of them look like Mario Party 9 style.
Like every time somebody does like a hidden gems kind of thing, they always mention that game.
Nice.
I want that because there's Dragon Quest stuff in it.
This I found at Goodwill. It's factory sealed, and they had like 5 of them. So if anybody needs a copy of this, Transformers, Dark of the Moon, the Stealth Forge edition.
I don't think anyone needs that, but
well, if you're collecting Wii games,
yeah, or Transformers games, which is insane.
And this is the Xbox Live Arcade compilation. And I think that's it this week.
Oh, that's it?
Yep, that's a small
yeah, just a few things.
Week.
Just some odds and ends.
Yep.
Anyway,
the PS2 games reminded me of something. Sean, you really liked Brothers, correct?
Yep.
Did you like the story and the controls, or just the story?
Yes.
Both?
Yep.
Because there's a game on the PS2. It's kind of quirky. It's kind of odd, but it controls pretty much the same as Brothers. And it's called The Adventures of Cookie and Cream.
You're losing me.
I'm throwing it out there. You play as these weird, funny little rabbit things, and the art style is like really kind of, I don't know. It's like Saturday morning cartoonish, and you control 2 characters on either side of the screen. The analog sticks, one controls one controls the other, and it's a puzzle platformer. Basically, as you go along with the 2 characters, they open different gates, and they help each other move along the map. It's very similar to like how Brothers controls.
Does
I don't know, just throwing it out there.
Does it rip your heart out of your chest and make
No,
you
no,
scared
it definitely
and it's still
doesn't. It's
beating?
whimsical and
Maybe-
happy.
Maybe I'll check it out. What was it called? The Adventures of Cookies and Cream?
Yeah, The Adventures of Cookie and Cream.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I have pickups. Not quite sure what order I should do these in. I'll just start with the stuff that I forgot to show last week. Well, I forgot to show one thing last week, and this arrived a few days later. But I forgot to show a hardcover manga I got, Queen Emeraldus, however you say that. But it's a just a Leiji Matsumoto manga, like Captain Harlock and stuff like that. So this should be interesting.
Can I interrupt you?
Sure. I mean, you just did, so.
Colleen and I, the first anime Colleen ever watched was Captain Harlock. We watched it together on Netflix. I was trying to ease her into, like, maybe get her to watch Attack on Titan or Sword Art Online with me or something. So we watched that, and
one of those is a good choice.
A couple of times throughout the movie, I referenced his cape, and I was like, "Oh man, that's so awesome! I wish I had a cape like that I could flourish around." And for my 34th birthday, Colleen was really excited for this present she had gotten me, and I didn't know what it was. I can normally guess what she's gotten me, but I had no idea. And there was something that had come out for video game wise recently. Anyway, so the day of my birthday, she tells me to close my eyes. I open them up, and she's standing there, and she had her sister make a full-length P1 size Captain Harlock cape, and she put it on me, and I was just. She was like, "Well, what do you think? You said you wanted a cape," and I was just like, "Where the fuck am I supposed to wear this?" Anyway, it ended up being quite a big fight because she was upset that she thought it would be a fun gift, and I didn't even remember saying I wanted the fucking cape. So I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good
So
memories for
you just opened that up and it's like, but why though?
Yeah. Anyway, I still have that cape,
Yeah.
but I'll bring it to Barry.
Fun facts. Anyway,
Sorry.
moving on. It's fine. That was a good story. I also got later last week the complete Batman Blu-ray set is on sale on Amazon. I've been wanting this for a while, so there's that. And I also start with more common stuff. No, I'll start with the non-gaming stuff. Get that out of the way, or most of it. Grab this grocery shopping because why not? The first Marvel Digest from Archie Comics. I think that's a cool collaboration, so I grabbed it because it's the first one they did. And other books I found thrifting in just my tales of random novelizations I pick up for whatever reason that I'll never read. Alien 3 and Clash of the Titans. So those are mildly interesting. A couple movies. Got Blade.
I love Clash of the Titans, by the way.
Yeah, I still need to see that movie.
The original is so good.
That is the original one. And they're both by Alan Dean Foster, so there's the Star Wars connection. Moving on. So Blade, I found the Blu-ray for this like 5 minutes later. I'm like, yeah, screw it, I already have the DVD. And Ghost Rider, because it was at the dollar store. This is Spirit of Vengeance, well, because why not? And actually, good movie, Iron Man, which I got for $5, I think. That's the 2-disc special edition of it. And game stuff. I'll start with this because I need to wake some of you up, I guess. Probably after that is the original Tetris. And this is much harder than DS. Also picked up handheld stuff. Actually, this is working out for handheld stuff, I guess. Star Wars Renegade Squadron Battlefront. And Killzone Liberation. And Super Scribblenauts. This is a more...
game decent.
Yeah. I don't know if that's for me, but I've played very little of it. To break it up with some random finds, I found these three in a thrift store. And it was just a random find. I found a couple Mac games that are actually sealed, but they're like later releases or later variants from Mac Play. It's Sacrifice, Icewind Dale,
Nice.
and Aliens vs. Predator 2. I have no idea what context in which these were released, but they're in DVD cases and they're sealed. So I figured for $5 each, why not? And some more common stuff. Get this out of the way because no one cares but me. Sims Bustin' Out. I played a lot of that one. There you go. And Freedom Fighters, Bionic Commando, Medal of Honor Airborne, and Modern Warfare. Curious to go back to a couple of the better like war shooters and give them another go, see what I think of them. And Beautiful Joe.
Nice.
Finally found the first one. And speaking of Wii shooting games, Resident Evil Dark Side Chronicles, which might be the most valuable game out of this stack, even though it's probably not worth much. And actually, this is not anything really all that important, but P1 might find it amusing, is I mentioned this on Overwatch a while ago, but I found this Attack on Titan Levi like paper folder thing. It's still in the plastic, and I noticed it had Japanese on the back, so I was like, well, that's random, so 50 cents, I'll grab that. It's from a 2013 promotion at the convenience store chain Lawson, and somehow this wound up in a Canadian thrift store.
Question for you that goes
Yes.
very well hand in hand with that. Being in Vancouver, which essentially has like the largest
near Vancouver.
Yeah, it has like the largest Asian population in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see a large influx of imports to your area?
No, I don't really see a lot of import games. I've seen Japanese copies at EB Games, of all places, a couple times. It's like Assassin's Creed, so it's nothing really all that exciting. But I have also, in thrift store anime stuff, I have found a Slam Dunk Coin Bank, which is a basketball anime, if you're not familiar.
Yep.
And a One Piece bath towel.
Huh.
And two of those were in the same day.
I figured
probably.
you would see a lot more things like that Attack on Titan thing, being that the population there is so tremendously large.
Yeah, I'm not that close to Vancouver, but yeah. Anyway, back to gaming-related stuff. I found an Xbox 360 how-to handbook magazine. Usually I don't find magazines because it's all like random piles of crap, but this is on the top, so I found one of it for once. And that might be interesting. Couple older game things. I saw these a while ago, but left them there because I didn't know if they were overpriced or not, but then I looked later and I'm like, oh, that's worth more than what they were priced at, so I should have probably grabbed those. But I'm still not quite sure about them, but I got them anyway because they were still there. But I got Motocross, which I think is for Atari 2600.
That looks like somebody made a label for it almost.
Yeah, it's hard to find this version of it, I think. So that's mildly interesting. And Ladybug on ColecoVision, as well as, even more random than those, Basic Computer Language for working Atari computers. I looked at it, I'm like, that is weird. I will take that, please. Someone might want it. And in other games I can't possibly test ever, I looked in the board games, and you might be able to guess where this is going from that, but I found Lords of the Realm, which I have no idea about this game, but it looks fairly complete, and it's on floppy disks. It's got 4 floppy disks in here, and it's got like all the manuals and like reference cards and everything. So there's not really any listings of this version of it on eBay, so that's mildly interesting. And for $2, worth the risk, I think. And I think I'll get into Star Wars stuff. I grabbed, I'll start with this because it's weird but not nearly as funny. I got an Episode 1 R2 3D puzzle. I have no idea if this is complete. As far as the actual puzzle goes, it's got 708 pieces.
You didn't open it up and count the pieces?
Not in the store, and I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. I am aware that that is a thing I can do, though. Thank you.
No,
Thanks for the
Joe
suggestion.
said that on STC. He was like, I always count on my puzzles before I buy them. Like,
Well, this is 708 pieces. They were closing in 5 minutes, and it was $3. I know it doesn't have the electronic bits. I don't care. I can return it if it's not complete.
I have the electronic bit for it.
Seriously?
I do, yeah, because I bought that same thing and then I got frustrated with it and I kept the electronic bit because it made noise. And then I redonated it.
Okay. That was not something I was expecting as a response. Did it happen to look like this on the bottom? Because you might be the only other person crazy enough to buy that. But speaking of crazy people buying random Star Wars crap, I found a Darth Vader Halloween candy dish.
Nice.
Whoa.
I find these things, and I buy them, because I'm insane. And my thrift store hates me by giving me stuff I want. And bag of toys. Finally found one of those, because it's always interesting to see what's in here. This bag is just full of a bunch of like Star Wars Commander bits, which is like this tabletop game they tried to make a thing a while ago. I wouldn't have bought just these, so that's not all that was in there. What I actually gave a damn about that was in there were some figures and ships. I now have 3 of these things. The Hot Wheels ships of the TIE Fighter for Force Awakens. This one didn't come with a stand, which is mildly irritating, but whatever. And also one of the droids. I can't remember the names of this one.
The Interceptor?
No, it's not an Interceptor. It's
the Vulture droid.
Yeah, Vulture droid. Thank you. And a couple figures.
nerd.
These ones.
Nerd.
Yeah. I think the more surprising part is that I couldn't think of a Star Wars thing. But these are mildly newer. I think these are 2013 figures. I got a Leia. That way. Han and Luke. None of the accessories, but that's fine. And of all the random things that was in there, a 1997 Luke Skywalker Christmas ornament.
Nerd. Be a chitty tonight.
Because why not? And I think I have one more thing. Hold on a second.
My, he's got to put it on.
I hope he comes back wearing a mask. Please come back wearing a mask.
And a tutu.
The gift floating around of the night that me, Andrew, and Troy were wearing the hats was just priceless. The one that Derek put up. I absolutely love that one.
He just comes back and he's in an R2D2.
You guessed correctly.
I have that
one.
Yep. Let's find out if the voice changer works. Apparently not.
Same thing in my
no, the batteries are probably dead.
No, the batteries aren't dead. I want to play the noises, but I don't know how loud that'll be.
Hit it.
Do it.
Okay. Okay.
Keep it on.
So good.
That's enough of that. It's way too hot. Okay.
Those things are expensive, actually. They run like $40, $50.
Yeah.
Really?
You just wear the top part, like the kid from Little Giants. Plays football with just that helmet.
Yep.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
I request that you wear that to Barry.
I might have to check that. Okay, so obviously that was everything. I don't think I could have possibly found another thing.
I'll show some stuff. I'm not going to inflict too much on the, impede too much on the games that I showed on Dollar Dorks, but I'll show a couple things that I picked up.
Oh, you're on Dollar Dorks?
Yeah. Me and the eponymous Joe from STC Pod. It was a good episode.
That should be really interesting.
It was fun.
That guy's really known for his savings.
Yeah, the one question which I forgot to ask Joe when we were on there, and I regretted as soon as we got off the podcast, was what is Joe price? I forgot to ask, and I feel terrible for not asking. But, yeah, anyway. Horizon Zero Dawn.
My local game store had it for $35. So it's still going for like $50 everywhere. I was super happy to find it cheap, and I love it. The whole buy two get one at GameStop thing, I picked up Dying Light the following. I wanted to get the complete, one, and I've been wanting to play this for a little while. It was like $20. And Geometry Wars Evolved, because I love Geometry Wars. Twin stick shooters are awesome. And then this game I can't recommend enough to anyone. You can pick it up on IM 8-bit or digitally download it, and that is Hyper Light Drifter. If you like Metroidvania style games, hack and slash games, this is totally up your alley. Take a Metroidvania style game and mix it with a little bit of like 2D God of War.
Yeah.
Super fun.
I really wanted to like it, but the art style doesn't grab me.
No? Oh, man, I thought it was super charming. But then again, you're a graphics whore, though.
I wouldn't use the term whore.
Graphics lady of the night.
I'm a graphics enthusiast.
Yeah. You graphics harlot.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll buy that.
So I picked up some artwork. Some artwork from Too Many Games.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
And you know what the funny part is, Sean? It's two games that you absolutely hate. So I grabbed an Earthbound print, and I grabbed a 3D diorama.
Oh boy!
Of the boss fight with Flammy.
Yeah.
And
that looks. Secret Minute is a gorgeous game.
There you go.
Looks really nice.
You can kind of see it there.
That picture actually controls better than the game.
Sort of, yeah, actually. I love both of those games. Are on my actually top 5, so had to get it. The guy that does these, he was at Too Many Games, and he does other shows as well. This piece was $60. Most of his stuff was all flat rate $60, and this is actually one of the more basic ones that's got 3 layers. Most of the stuff he did had like 3 to 4 to 5 layers. And he takes trades. So if you ever see him at a show, his name, I think it's on here. No, but I think he goes by Video Game Shadowbox. And he does trades. He's always looking for Super Nintendo and NES games.
That is a really sharp. I like that. I wonder if he has a Facebook page.
He probably does. And the good part is like the frame. It's a nice frame, and it's like it's solid. You know what I mean? Like it was definitely worth it.
He's got an Etsy store.
There you go.
Yeah, where he shows all of his designs, and you can order right there.
And then the last pickup I got, a friend of mine who's also a video game collector found this, and he's not a huge board game collector, but he knows I am, and that is Dizzy Dizzy Dinosaur.
I remember that game. I had that game.
This game, I loved this game as a kid. I love anything that has motorized objects in a board game like this. Like we got a whole bunch of people together and played Drunk Shark Attack, and it was a lot of fun.
Shark Attack's a great game.
Yeah, but imagine you get all tuned up and start playing some Shark Attack. It gets pretty serious. People start screaming.
I think with Dizzy Dizzy Dinosaur, I just kept winding up. I got bored of playing the game and just kept winding up the dinosaur, just still knocking the stuff.
But that's it. That's what I got.
Look at this Video Game Shadowbox's artwork here.
He had a lot of nice stuff, man. Like if I was into Mega Man, he had a bunch of nice Mega Man stuff, and I was gonna get the Zelda Master Sword scene from Link to the Past was the other one I wanted, but it was the end of the day on Sunday, and I just didn't have the extra cash to spend.
You could have traded that Earthbound picture.
Yeah. By the way, Troy, I spent like Saturday hanging out with the guys from Rebel Gaming Club.
Oh, nice.
Did you see their recent 2 videos? One from TMG and the newest one?
No, I haven't. No.
I'm in both of them basically, and
Cool.
Dude, those guys are just like they are on the channel.
Yeah,
they are.
Those are some guys I'd like to meet. Those guys, man, that's hilarious. They're hilarious. Like
they're so good to hang out with, man. Like super fun to hang out with.
Yes, I saw the Twitter pictures, I think, or something. And I was like, jealous, big time.
Yeah, we did some shady back alley deals at Too Many Games. They came out to the car and
I wouldn't expect any less of them.
So Dan, I hooked up Dan pretty good. He got a lot of stuff off of me.
Cool. Well, I got to pick up. This is the only thing I picked up.
Yay.
Well, you're not even going to present me, you son of...
Just keep talking loud.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's sealed, so I like these Lego games. They're fun.
Yeah.
Sealed.
That's the game with gold.
Is it really?
Yep, that's one of them on Xbox this month. I don't know why.
Well, this is on the PS3.
I know.
So
suck it.
Yeah.
I have embraced the PS3.
I only buy old games.
Scott, when you were going for Wii U, what was your hurdles? Since Kitty Cruisers wasn't one of them, obviously. Was like, what is it, Funky Barn, or like what was hard to find for you?
Yeah, Funky Barn is one of the last ones that I picked up.
The Crudes?
No, Crudes was... I got a lot of them relatively early in the lifespan, just as like clearing out Target clearance bins and stuff. So I'd say for most of the set, I probably bought brand new for under $20 a piece. Funky Barn was one that was tough. Oddly enough, FIFA 13 was hard to find.
Yeah, Madden 13 on the Vita is one of them.
Yeah, yep.
For a lot of people.
Yep.
Now, did you go for full box sets and all that other nonsense too, like all the variants?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't have any of the Nintendo World stuff because I wasn't living out here when all that came out.
Did you talk to Grimsy 42 and the guys up that way? Because there's a couple of those collector's editions floating around in that crew.
Oh, really? Yeah, I know Grimsy's got a set of them.
I know there's a couple of them floating around in their little circle. There was another, I think, additional Mario Kart 8s, and I know for sure there was one extra Zelda floating around.
Oh, nice. I'll have to shoot him a message.
Find out where they are. I mean, it's going to cost you, but they're at least out there.
Nice. That's good to know. And then on the Vita, since you mentioned that, the one that I still need is the Neptunia #1 limited edition.
Oh, so you're running for a full Vita set too?
I have a full Vita set. Yeah.
Get the hell out of here! Really?
Yeah.
Collector's editions and all?
Yep.
Wow.
Except for the Neptunia #1, which is like $1,000 now.
That's more impressive than the Wii U set.
You live in a storage unit?
Basically.
That's far more impressive.
I couldn't house anything like that. That's just
behind
nuts.
that curtain is just a warehouse.
Yep.
That's what I was thinking.
It's like the end of Raiders back there.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of work storage lockers.
Yeah, he doesn't live in a storage locker. He owns a storage locker center.
That's impressive though, because like we were talking about earlier with pre-orders, those Vita games, especially any of the limited or collector's editions, most stores got one, if that. Most of them you had to pre-order, otherwise you just weren't getting them.
Yep.
That's very impressive.
Every week I just check out Amazon's pre-orders, and anything new for Vita, I hit it up right then and there just so that I don't miss anything. Same for Wii U.
Are you running a full limited run set as well?
Yep.
You've got Breach and Clear as well?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you get it new?
Yeah, I bought it on their site when it first popped.
Oh my God.
It's funny because the Breach and Clear didn't sell out for like 3 days on their site.
Well, they weren't known until release probably 4, really.
Yep.
So that's why Saturday Morning RPG is worth a bunch of money still, and the first Oddworld's worth a bunch of money because nobody knew about them until after Oddworld released.
Yep.
And they were like, wait a minute, Oddworld's a thing? And then all of a sudden it exploded and everybody wanted everything.
Yeah. Douglas was a member, or still is a member on Cheap Ass Gamer, and I post over there a lot. So he had mentioned it when Breach and Clear was going live, so I ordered a couple of them over there.
I've since stopped buying the PS4 games unless it's something I really want, like Rive. I just ordered Rive because it looks like it's a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But the Vita stuff, I still buy every Vita release because it is so hard to find anything Vita.
Well, I mean, they're basically almost have doubled the physical set for Vita for North America. But since basically what being tapped out on Vita stuff to buy, I've started delving into European exclusives and Japanese, Chinese, English releases.
So your set went from 120 games to 700 games, is what you're saying?
Yeah. On Vita, I've got 348 games.
Yeah. Made almost three times as many overseas.
Yeah.
That's cool though. It's like not everybody's like hardcore collectors. There's like a whole bunch of us in different parts of the scene, I guess, and you know, it's neat to talk to people, especially in the Hangouts, because everybody, even in the Hangouts, is on different ends of the spectrum.
Yep.
So it's nice to meet somebody else who's, I don't know, maybe more addicted than I am, but you know, probably in the same realm of collecting of just, you know, I like to buy obscure items.
Yep, me too. Yeah, been a collector for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
What do you primarily focus on?
A little bit of everything. Mostly recently, I've been picking up obscure Wii games and Vita stuff, and the only two that I've been buying a lot of handheld. I've been focusing a lot on DS. I'm not even going to lie. I've been paying a lot of attention to Game Boy Advance and DS. Not going crazy. I don't really order stuff online unless I know I'm not going to find it somewhere else, like Diamond Trust of London for DS and random weird items like that. Little Red Riding Hood Zombie Barbecue, and some of the harder to find random games. But I just like obscure items. I like really weird, quirky. People are like, wait a minute, that's a thing that even exists. I like that kind of thing.
That's kind of what got me into cover art variant collecting.
Yeah.
Just seeing all the different iterations of things and realizing, oh man, I didn't even know that existed.
That's like the Wii. When I saw people starting to go for a Wii collection and Wii games started to drop in price, just walking into a GameStop and you see the same shit on every Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo shelf. But you walk to the Wii section and you're like, what the hell is all this crap? Like there's 400 games that I didn't even know existed right here. So I like picking that stuff up. You find little gems buying stuff like that. The DS is another one. There's just so much randomness on there that you just... Anything is a surprise because they didn't make it on anything else.
Yep.
It's all brand new. The Vita, it's the only place to play 99% of those games.
Yeah, there's so much. So it's been so indie friendly.
Yeah. Even the Wii U. The Wii U is the only place you're going to play any of those. Now the Switch is starting to pick up some of them, but they're all completely unique to that system, basically.
That's basically what got me collecting it in the first place, was I thought, well, I'm just going to buy the exclusives for this. And I was like, well, shit. 75% of the set. Well, all right. Might as well finish this off.
Yep.
Now for Wii U games, are they like, if it's like a cross-platform thing, like a Call of Duty or something like that, that's on the Wii U, but also on like PS whatever, are those the same game, or are they like kind of like when you had like the Wii version of Ghostbusters versus the PS3 version of the Ghostbusters game or whatever, where they're like completely different games?
By and large, they're mostly just ports, watered down ports, but there are a handful of them that are unique versions. I think the Madden one is different. It's got like motion control built into it. Let's see. The Batman Arkham one, I think it's City, not Origins, is different.
Armored Edition.
Yep.
You have Assassin's Creed Black Flag for it?
Yep. That one I think is basically the same game. And there's 3 variants of that one. There was a GameStop cover and a Walmart cover, and then just a cross-platform cover, or a cross-retailer cover.
They had a version of the Transformers Prime game on there that's the same as the Wii and 3DS was the handheld version that came out. Either way, that one's just basically the same, but it doesn't have motion controls and has slightly better graphics, so that's the desirable version, I guess.
Yeah, I have Transformers Prime on Wii.
Yeah.
All right, you're the cover. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. I didn't interrupt you there. Sorry.
Better be.
Mass Effect 3, I think, is also slightly different.
That's the one I was thinking of. For some reason, I kept thinking Dead Space in my head, but Mass Effect was what it was.
All right, if you're the cover variant guy, what's this all about on this one?
Canada.
Yeah, Canada.
Just a Canada thing?
Yep.
Yeah, I've got that too. No game in
Okay.
it though. I've got everything but the game, so if anyone wants it.
Yeah, that's definitely a
Well,
Canadian.
I can bring an extra copy of this game to Barry if you want.
Like,
Yeah.
just the disc? Or
Oh yeah, I mean I have the case and the disc, but no manual. This one has the manual. So
Okay.
this is the one that's going to go in my collection, and the other one I'm going to pull out of there.
Did we
So,
get in the U.S.
we'll
did
give
we
you a deal
get
on it.
a non-big box version of Four Swords?
I only have a big box version.
Because that's the only reason I would think that that would be, if you would find it in the U.S., that would be like a non-big box release that says new 2000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought
think
there
it's
was a
just
non-big
Canada,
box one, but I'm not no expert on this field.
Yeah, because this one has the front says right on the back of it.
Oh yeah, that's got to be just Canada release then.
Yeah.
Because I think in America we just got the big box that came with the connection, one link cable and blah blah blah.
Yep.
And then in Canada, we also got the rewraps. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's like it's sealed inside, so it's like the American version, and then they take a French manual and stuff, and they kind of like put it up against it, and then they put this like really cruddy plastic wrap around it.
Yeah, that was
So it looks like someone's basically like trying to pass it off or something, but it's like Canada's way of making it dual, whatever, like language kind of thing to fit
Yeah.
the laws, but
yeah, like
but they're using the American game.
yeah, like they repacked what was the Star Ocean game on PS2? Either way, that one. They repacked like that had a different case over it or something, like a
Mhm.
flip cover, but apparently we got the version where it was just the game that was inside that case, but they just stuck a French manual on the back.
Mhm.
But it's gotten no information on the back of the case. I have that.
Right, dudes. I think I'm out. It was fun.
Later, Trev.
Talk later, then.
Just to give you guys a heads up, I think I want to call this live stream portion at the top of the hour. If you guys want to keep going beyond that, by all means, don't feel like me saying I have to go is an obligation to stop talking.
You are such a bummer.
I'm just giving you the 18-minute warning now. That's
I gotta
what
go
wanna
right
do.
now.
That's fine with me. I got to be to work in like 5 hours anyway.
It's 1:45. I'm gonna go to bed.
I'm playing Tetris. I'm barely paying attention as it is.
I guess we're all out then.
I'm sticking around if you want, but that's because I'm wired. I just played hockey, so I got to calm down.
So let me then ask: is there anyone who wants to stick around for another 18 plus minutes?
I'm good.
Eh?
It's,
Yeah, I think I'm done.
it's almost 1. I should probably go to sleep.
Yeah, it's probably best to call it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Troy.
Sorry, Troy.
That's okay. I'll go find some other hangout where people have balls.
3D or regular?
3D. Balls 3D.
He wasn't even here for that conversation.
Okay.
All right, guys. Till next week.
Fun chatting with you all.
Talk to you guys later.
See you
Later.
later. Bye.